Greetings, motherfuckers. I actually figured out how to do this shit. How's everybody? Tara, how you doing?
Hiya, Mr. B.
Hey. Pat, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Excellent. Excellent.
Surprised I'm awoke.
It's the weekend. Most people either sleep in or get absolutely plastered.
Or they're forced to drive around all fucking day even though they're fucking sick.
Yeah. That happens. And it sucks.
Sitting here drinking my orange juice.
Such a shame. Well, I do have some interesting things to tell you guys.
Like what?
Well, I have good news. Being that I live in a very special place in Chicago, I am not far from sanctioned. The bad news is, if now that we have a communist in office, they decide they want to build the Great Berlin Wall of Chicago, well, I'm gonna have to get my happy ass over the fucking wall. Because as much as I detest that son of a bitch router, his ass is out and Pritzker's in, so ode to absolute Soviet supremacy soon, I suppose.
Well, I guess you need to start packing your shit and coming to Florida.
I don't know. Possibly being eaten and raped by a gator, or possibly being eaten or raped by a bunch of starving socialists.
No.
Don't seem
Where
pretty
I live,
bad.
that wouldn't happen.
Are you sure? You know I have terrible.
Yes, I'm pretty fucking sure.
I don't know.
No, see, I live in the good part of Florida.
Where there aren't drug addicts and gators and...
Well, everywhere in the U.S. has fucking drug addicts. And yes, we have gators. However, you don't hear about that happening much in my town.
Hearing? I'm not expecting anybody to hear anything other than ah! And that's it. Now, I imagine the gators down there are like fucking ninja warriors or something, man. Just sitting there like, oh, I know they got that bastard Steve Irwin. Oh, I know that motherfucker likes hunting us down. So we gotta be really extra stealthy when we're getting our snacks. So you gotta, oh, wait, look, here comes an old folk with their little dogs. I gotta wait and make sure Steve Irwin ain't gonna get me.
Oh, come on. You know, you'd enjoy sitting next to beautiful Lake Alice, watching some bimbo college student with her tiny chihuahua on a leash where it goes to drink out of the lake and a fucking gator jumps up and eats it. You'd laugh your fucking ass off.
That would actually be awesome, but I'm afraid I'll get plastered one day. I'll go to that same spot to pee, and then, yeah, ain't gonna be much of me left after that. Like Pat, I got a funny hillbilly story for you. This was one of the last times I was in Southern Illinois, and I was absolutely plastered and partying. It was fun until I had to go. Here's a funny thing. Now, at the place where we'd go and camp out at, we had one particular tree designated for pissing. And the reason for this was because pretty much every other tree we either tried to climb, tried to hack stuff off of it, use it for tinder, we hung our tents off of it, whatever, and, you know, we had to make sure that, you know, we all went to the right tree for the right thing, because accidents, stumbling around drunk, and it's dark as hell out there, like, literally. Like, when you get, like, past, like, the suburbs and that, I swear, it's, like, underworld. It's dark as fuck.
Well, I promise you, you are not going to any clubs here in town without me. Clubs or bars.
Oh,
because I have to keep... No, babe. I have to keep the slimy bitches off of you.
Please do. Yeah.
Because I swear to God, we go to that pub next time, if that bitch puts her hands on you again, I'm not going to be nice.
Did you tell Pat that story? You should tell Pat that story. That was a funny story.
Oh, no.
I think Pat has heard it.
Did we ever tell you about our trip to DC and the bar thing that went on?
Oh yeah, I remember her telling me about that. I think it was on a. I think it was on a. It's off. Yeah, it was. It was like a hangout that was on. That wasn't on air. It was with Scoob.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Scooby told
Yeah,
him
but
about it the other night.
Yeah, okay. Damn it, you already heard the story. It's not as funny when you hear it a second time.
Yeah, but he doesn't also have it from your perspective.
All right. Well, I suppose we could anyways. Shit. Okay, so here's the funny thing. Okay, so we're running around like fucking maniacs. This hurricane finally passes over. You know, it's dark as all fuck. You know, everyone's getting the hell out of the mall area and everything and
Oh,
shit.
real quick, you know the area we were walking through? That was Georgetown. We walked by the Exorcist house.
Oh, fuck
mm,
me. Are you serious?
Yep.
Really?
Remember, I think it was actually the building I sat down at.
No fucking
Yeah.
God. Oh. Okay. We go again next year. We gotta make sure we got a map for this shit, okay? So we don't miss all the cool shit like that. I mean, we missed everything, Pat. Like literally, the hurricane fucked a good 3/4 of the shit we were gonna do. We're gonna go drink Uber guy.
mm.
We're gonna go teabag some communist after plowing them over. We kind of went to the bar and had a good time there. That place was packed. I'm pretty sure Uber guy would have picked a better place than that.
Yeah, but you can't get better than an Irish pub. At least we
I
didn't go into the
know.
fucking Florida Seminoles club. Oh my god.
We'd be
I'm-
swinging our way out of there, man.
Yeah, because I'm a Florida Gator. We don't go near Seminoles.
Yeah. Oh.
And I
Yeah,
almost
I
got
can
into a
really-
fight outside of the bar, and I wasn't even drunk.
Yeah. The thing is, I can't falter for that because I've done that to Cubs fans several times. God.
Where you won't go into a bar with that's playing like the Cubs game and shit.
Oh, hell no. No, I avoid that like fucking jalapenos on anything with some extra shit your brains out sauce.
Baby, you do realize you're going to be eating jalapeno poppers around me, right?
Oh, the hell no. Hell no.
Yes, yes.
Would you like a radioactive shitter?
That's you. But you know what? I'm going to get a recipe for how to make them.
No. I don't think you understand. When I go to the can after eating anything spicy, it's like that Chernobyl eruption.
Oh,
You
Yes,
know that-
I remember after you bit into the chili pepper in my jambalaya.
Yeah, that was not fun, and that was only just like a little bit. If I ate the whole thing, you just basically hear me like going Super Saiyan death metal in the bathroom.
Oh. Hold on. Son of a bitch.
mhm. Got to turn down the phone.
Oh God, jalapenos. I'm telling you, I'm a white boy through and through. Anything spicy, oh, it comes out bad. Yeah. I mean, hell, I used to be a janitor at Walt Disney World once, and one of my roommates was Indian. And before he left for going back to India, he made this really spicy rice curry stuff. And this shit was so fucking thermonuclear hot. I had to, like, sit outside while he was cooking it because it was like tear gas, but it was
Okay.
delicious tear gas.
Yeah. But you loved my jambalaya.
It was good as soon as I picked those peppers out.
Well,
Yeah.
I had to use the peppers because I didn't have Slap Yo Mama seasoning.
Slapped it. Wait a minute. You're telling me that's something not from Friday? That's something that actually exists?
Yes.
Yep.
Bullshit.
Okay, I'll be right back.
I have got to see this shit. You're telling me slap your mama sauce, slap your mama spice, and slap your mama chicken is actually something real?
I said, slap your mama barbecue sauce.
Okay, where do I gotta go to get that? I don't care if I gotta go fucking shoot my way through fucking Harvey. I'm getting that shit because that is the only thing I am missing for my fucking barbecue chicken. I will be
Go back to
damned.
bed. Your mom went to the store to go get Band-Aids for you. Go.
I will be damned if that's actually a thing because that looked like some good fucking chicken.
Yeah. I said, what? You never had slap your mama Cajun seasoning?
Nah.
I said, it's a real thing. Look it up.
All right. I'm Googling that as we speak. Because now I've got to see if I can find it. Slap. Where to unlist occupy Chicago. Oh! 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 They have a website. They have a store located. Okay. Let me see.
Go to sleep or I'm taking it away.
Oh,
What's
you
going
see
on?
now I see why I have never found it. They have it at the 3 places I never go to. One of which I will get shot at. The other 2, which wait. No, I think I go to that one. Okay, now I'm gonna have to go fucking check it. Because they got it over at Fairplay. And I never go to that place because I think the address they have for installed. Yeah, definitely don't go to that one. Yeah. Dalton, Illinois, yeah, I'll get fucking shot at.
Alright, let's see here.
Let's see here. Walmart and Hammond, that depends on which one. That's either the one that's got all the fun shit or the one that they're going to be building that goddamn wall by that I'm not going to get to. This other one they got. That's. Alright. Sweet. I will have to really look forward to that. Next time I go shopping. Hell yeah.
Yeah, you should be able to find Slap Your Mama.
Do you have this sacred seasoning that you speak of?
Yes, I do. Give me a second. And
Uh,
apparently I'm upside down.
yeah, I was just gonna tell you that.
Your camera is shit.
Well, what do you expect? It's made in China.
I expect you to buy better quality things.
That was a hand-me-down before it became my hand-me-down.
Alright.
Yep, that's it.
Motherfucker! Ah!
Yep, that's the seasoning.
And they got barbecue sauce that goes with that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hell yeah. Alright, I'm gonna have to do that. Because I tell you, you have not lived until you have had my barbecue chicken. I've had people have to give me a 23andMe test. Just because my chicken cooking skills are that fucking good.
Now do you see why I was bitching and moaning that that the Walmart was fucking closed?
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought I never thought that was a thing. Because I was always used to that being a fucking Friday joke.
No, it's real. Slap Your Mama. It's been around longer than Friday.
I'd be damned.
Yeah, let's see. It's actually Cajun seasoning, Ville Plate, Louisiana. In 1956, Wilda Marie Bernat Walker gave birth to the creator of this award-winning seasoning blend. Every time she uses it, she receives a loving slap on the back and a kiss on the cheek, thanking her for another great tasting Cajun dish. I'm having a hard time reading because I'm not wearing my other glasses. Recommended for all dishes from popcorn to seafood, breakfast to late night snacks, gourmet food to french fries. And it tastes really good on fucking french fries.
French fries and popcorn. Oh yeah, that's definitely some good shit there. I know a couple people that
Hoping
have
your
done
family
that.
and friends enjoy it as much as we do. Thank you, the Walkers. And it's by Walker and Sons.
Interesting.
It even has a shrimp dip recipe on the side.
Nice. That definitely sounds tasty.
You know I'm not a fan of seafood.
That might actually make it pretty tasty.
I'm not a huge fan of seafood either. Although I do like me some grilled fish, especially if I caught it. Yes,
That's it,
motherfuckers,
yeah.
I fish.
I'll eat salmon with tilapia, but
Oh, fuck yeah, tilapia, red snapper. Oh, God. There are a zillion different ways you can catfish and
There is
oh,
actually a picture of me with a 7-pound redfish that I caught.
nice! Oh, them fuckers are tasty.
Yeah, they are. Here, I'll go and find it.
Oh, you're gonna get my leg kicking again.
But of course, I always have to get your leg kicking.
Not that one. Oh God, I'm a dumb bastard. Oh.
I got both
I ain't
y'all's
talking
legs
about
kicking.
the third leg. Oh, fuck. God damn, I've been doing that shit all day.
Just talking about the Cajun seasoning, I know I got both y'all legs kicking.
Uh-huh. The funny thing is, I can imagine a couple guys sitting there having a little bit of that in the popcorn, a little bit of barbecue sauce.
Yeah, what's going on?
Scoobie finally
Not too
made
much,
it. Oh my
Scoop.
god.
Good to see you, dude.
I thought you were dead.
No, I was watching Jumanji with Mama.
Gotcha.
Nice. New one or old one? New Jumanji or old Jumanji?
New Jumanji.
The new one that came out.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it yet. It was actually pretty entertaining.
Yeah. I said, yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, I usually can't deal with Kevin Hart, but he was actually bearable in this.
Yeah. Kevin Hogg, bearable? Bullshit.
Yeah.
Heart.
Oh, Hart. I thought you said Hog. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, a little black guy with squeaky voice. The rock sidekick.
Found it.
I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah, that dude makes me laugh and piss myself.
Yeah, he was the tripped out in this one, man.
All right, here comes the screen share. Present me, my love.
And button.
Red snapper.
Red tail or a redfish.
Oh, that looks tasty.
Nice. When'd you go today?
No, this was like 2 years ago.
Okay, cool.
Ooh, tell us the fishing story. Tell us the fishing story.
Okay, so we were at this place called Tomoka. It's off of the like inner channel, where there's this thing called the Matanzas channel or something like that, but it's part of the Atlantic Ocean. On the other side of it is St. Augustine and all that shit. We're on the other side of that, and I'd been fishing all day. I'd caught a bluegill. I had caught, and then later I caught a ladyfish, which they are very fragile in the jaw area, so you can't like just yank the line and reel them in. You have to literally like lure them in. So it was getting late, and the ladyfish is nothing but bones. So I decided to fillet it with my big fucking knife that has the paracord on the handle, and it's got skulls all over it.
Cool.
Took my knife, I filleted it, and I cut off a few pieces to use as bait. Hold on a second. No, she's not. Go to bed.
Dealing with children.
So I decided I was going to use some of that ladyfish as bait, just to see how it goes. Well, I tossed it into this one deep area where there's like a tree branch sticking out of the water. Mind you, this is all salt water. And redfish at one point was really scarce because of all the netting that used to happen. And then the netting laws were put into place, and redfish started coming back. So I'm sitting there fishing and I'm hoping, catch something before, it gets too dark. And I get a hit. And I yank on the line and I reel it in a bit and then I get yanked again. I'm like, shit, I got something. I'm reeling and I'm reeling and I'm reeling. I reel it in and it's this beautiful baby.
Oh, tasty fishy.
When I pulled it up and I saw the little black spot down on the tail, I was like, oh my God, it's a big ass redfish.
Nice.
And my vape just popped open and all the juice is all over me. Please excuse me.
Go right ahead. Go hold the fort down for you. Just let me fix that. There we go.
Yeah.
Now we don't have the infinite screen. Shit.
Let me see if this works. Just bear with me. I'm doing something while I'm listening to you.
All right. Let's go ahead and push the buttons.
Miss Allie schooled me to a little something earlier. Let's see. I'm just trying to find it. Bear with me. There we go.
All right.
See if this works. Okay, let's see if this works.
Nothing's happened yet.
Oh, no. I'm doing it on my end. I'm not presenting or anything. I'm just trying to see if this actually works.
Oh, do I say that?
Damn it. You had me like was sitting here in suspense. God, I've been such a dumbass this entire fucking day.
Now what up?
I have missed jokes left and right. I have had things fly over my head verbally that I normally catch, and other than that, just doing all the zipping around on stuff I want to take it a long way. It's like, oh my god. I need to be on a boat.
Like I said, if I haven't been sleeping, I've been working on content and just throwing out a couple of videos. Like I said, trying to help out people.
Cool,
like right
man.
now, one of my friends, like Viper Stories, like she lives in the UK right now. She's in like a financial situation. So like I said, trying to help her, gain funds so she can, like like keep her pad and all that right there because she has a
she
video
doing
out
all
there where
right?
she basically. Yeah, well, she's doing good. Like I said, she's still, kind of stressing out with the situation that she's doing right now. So trying my best to help out in a way. And then, like I said, dropped another video where I talked about the whole Jacqueline Glenn thing, how she tweeted out, her usual,
You
nonsense that
can't
she
hear
does
that,
on the.
can you?
No, I
Yeah,
can't
what?
hear anything, Scoob.
Okay, cool.
We see it, but can't hear it.
Okay.
No copyright.
Moonstruck.
Are we on the air yet?
Yeah. We've been on the air.
Shit. God damn it, man. You tell me these things. Cool. It was less than a few seconds. We're good.
I'm saying now. Thank God you wouldn't present yourself like there.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I've been like that. Scoob, no.
Oh no!
No, that's good. I wanted to see if it worked. It works.
Yep.
That's good.
That's fine. And yeah, you couldn't hear the music either. I wanted you to hear it too, but whatever. I'll show you later when we're off air. It was the movie Moonstruck. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while since seen that.
Yeah.
That was like back what, the 80s?
Yeah, 87, I think it came out. Oh, Patches. Daddy's on the air. Hello, Pudgy. Giving kisses?
Shit. Yeah, I hope Viper Sword's gonna. That's gotta be shitty living being over there in fucking UK, man.
Yeah, so what's it for? To try to get her here to the country? To like the States? I had missed it. I'm
Viper?
sorry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, it's like she's she explains it better in a video, but it's like, I don't know, it's like something that happened in the UK where she was on she's on some kind of thing where I think they like overpaid her or something like that, or she didn't get off the she didn't get off the directed payments because they didn't explain it like very clearly to her. So I guess what it is on their side, they like gave her too much money and shit like that and didn't fully explain it. So now they sent her a letter saying that she's got to pay over like £5,000 back to back to like the UK government and shit like that, which is really fucked up because it's fucked up on their part, but they're still making her, like pay back and all the stuff right there. And so
Yeah,
now,
I think I
yeah,
get you.
yeah,
so
yeah.
now,
I got you. They fucked up, but it don't
yeah,
matter that they fucked up. They want their money back.
that's what it is.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. They did the same thing to my sister years ago. Because her name, it comes up as Spanish in the computer, and they had a few people who were legal who had the same name as her, so she was getting checks. She didn't know they were for like these other people because they were cutting them for people who didn't have social security numbers anyway, so they didn't ask for it. So she was just cashing the things, and it's
hmm
like, yeah, and they're like, didn't you think anything when you were getting these checks for doing nothing? And she's like, well, the Democrats have been in power for the past few years. I just figured that's what they were doing again.
oh my
You gotta
god.
understand that whenever they come into power, you get checks for free shit, but it's small checks here.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm back.
Hello.
Welcome back here.
But then they'd be like, "Oh, we fucked up, but you still got to pay us, so you got to pay us back."
Yeah. Yeah, especially New York has gotten really bad with that shit. They're like the fucking mafia, especially now that they got Don Andrew up in Albany. Like,
Uh-oh.
yeah, if you, God forbid, you take any money from them, holy shit, they want everything from you. Like, if you got a savings account, they want you to take the money out of it. They want you to cash any bonds you got, any stocks, any commodities, uh, any holdings. Do you got real estate? They want to know. Do you got anything of value? Were you left any antiquities? Were you left anything in a will? You own property. You own a car. You own a home. New York State don't fuck around.
Mm.
Yeah, they actually threw me the fuck up out the building the last time I was there. They said I was being hostile because I asked them. I said, let me ask you something. I put all this shit down on the paper. I don't pay you guys. You're going to send somebody to come break my leg?
So check out what I'm presenting.
Nice meme.
Nationwide is on your side. I think I'm the only one who got that joke.
No, actually, do the jingle is like a good neighbor.
agent,
State
State Farm
Farm
is
is
Oh
there.
yeah, State Farm.
Oh, okay, yeah, they both do shit like that now.
Yeah,
I
State Farm
love-
agency.
I love Peanut. Did I piss you off? Get over it, princess. It's Facebook. It's gonna happen sometimes.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
Jeff
hey.
Dunham.
Babe, can you fix it to where it doesn't say Facebook and it says Twitter?
Yeah, it should be easy enough.
Okay, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Oh Lord.
Mm.
Nice. Oh, Scoop, there is one pressing thing I did take for it.
All GTA training has led to this moment.
Oh Lord, that can't end well.
That is tempting as hell. That's the sad part about it. That's actually really. I would almost be crazy enough to do that if they, like, just had the fucking ramp style. I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm getting a free ride.
Like, I can already tell you either the picture is reversed or they're in England because they're on the wrong side of the road.
they're on the left side.
Poor people in it.
Plus, look at the speedometers.
Kind of backwards.
All of that is in kilometers.
Soon we'll probably have as many gun rights as those bastards over here.
This is so true. I didn't choose the creepy life. The creepy life chose me.
She was a knockout. What's her name?
I know, right?
60 degrees is cold? Are you shitting me? 64 degrees? That's fucking summer. Do people high? Soda? What heresy is that? Soda?
Yep, soda.
Yeah, that's what we call it, soda.
What?
Yeah.
It drives me insane every time you say pop.
Oh, you'd hate it down here then.
You guys say soda over there too?
What?
Like you don't call it pop?
No, I'm talking about what Terra said. Like,
just don't do it around me, and we're good.
Oh shit! That's why I said you hate it down here.
That's an east-west thing. The Mississippi River is a divide. People on the east of the Mississippi call it soda. People on the west call it pop.
I'm just used to the north side of calling it soda.
And flip-flops really are everyday wear. Right now it's kind of chilly outside. I mean, not too bad. I did wear my sweater run into the store earlier because, well, I'm sick, so I'm running a fever and it's colder than me. And I walked around in my flip-flops.
You know, depending what neighborhood you go in around here, you refer to it as pop, you might get mugged.
What?
I'm being dead fucking serious, man. You might piss somebody off. You go in the wrong neighborhood, like you go into some real like greaseball neighborhood, like you go into a neighborhood that's like all Italian or like all Puerto Rican, and you go across past somebody who's like middle aged and not in the mood, and they just look at your cracker ass and they hear you refer to it as pop. Oh God.
Okay, and here's one that's
so pissed off. Seriously, man. They look at you like, where the fuck are you from, pal? Well, why? What's the problem? I can picture the whole conversation. We don't call it that here. We call it soda here. You call it soda. You understand me? And I can picture you just telling this guy to go fuck himself. I can picture the whole thing unfolding.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh, God. Yeah, it would be good. You should. Oh, God, Pat, you should have seen him talk to these fucking cops in D.C. 2 years ago when we went down. I've never seen. I swear to Christ, if I could ever time travel, I want to get a picture of this cop's face and frame it. The look of what the fuck on this cop's face was priceless.
Since guys like to send me a dick pic, here you guys go.
Nice. The dick pic I usually use, I forget this artist's name. He does all these paintings of different presidents. He has a picture of Richard Nixon wrestling and winning a saber-toothed tiger. So it looks like an oil painting. It's really sick.
I like the war pug.
God.
That is cool.
Not too bad.
Businessman Lenny B. Robinson could have hoarded his money. Instead, he spends $25,000 a year dressing up as Batman and going to hospitals to give out toys and comics to sick children.
That's actually fucking cool.
That's nice, man.
That's badass.
I think he actually lives on Long Island. I recognize that house.
Oh, Scoobie, explain to Burnside how we walked right past the Exorcist house.
Yeah, we walked right past the house The Exorcist took place in Georgetown like a pack of assholes. I realized it when I was looking at the film the other day.
Motherfucker.
We were so caught up in what the hell we were doing.
I think the building itself was the actual one that I sat at to take a seat for a minute.
Yeah.
Motherfucker. Okay, I told Sarah this. Okay, next year we go there, we need a fucking map.
I had a map.
Yeah. I had one too.
One thing I say about Nintendo. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, when we need to sit down, we need to look at these maps. We need to actually mark this shit so we know, so we don't miss the fun shit. That hurricane screwed us out of all the fun.
Well, we weren't thinking to look for it. You know, I mean, we didn't realize it till we were looking at something the other day.
It was a meme thing on Facebook where it was saying which of these houses would you explore? And it had the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Exorcist house, Murder House from American Horror Story, and it had the Roanoke house, also from American Horror Story. And oh God, what was the last one, Scoob?
Amityville Horror.
Thank you.
Because I said to Terra, I said, you know, it's funny. I can look at this thing. I can honestly say that I've been to one of these houses. And after I said that, I'm looking at it. And as soon as I said that, I'm looking at the picture, and it just clicked in my memory. I remembered the house because I remembered these ugly ass fucking bushes. And I said to Tara, I said, holy shit, you could say the same thing too. She goes, what do you mean? I said, look at the fucking picture. And so she's looking at it, and, you know, it took her a second, but she's sharp as a whip. She's like, holy shit, I think I see what you're talking about. I said the one in Georgetown. That's where we were. Because I didn't realize till I was looking at the map I got at the house here, D.C. We were in Georgetown. That's where all those beautiful brownstones were that we were looking
just
at.
said Georgetown. This is the Exorcist house.
Yeah, see it, Burnside? Remember the house that we stopped in front of?
Oh, motherfucker! That what we did sit. Oh, fuck you. God.
Oh, that's too funny.
Damn it. Not as funny as the cops that you
Like, you can stay the Exorcist house because whatever they
It
exercise.
says that this is the house that inspired the Exorcist, but the actual Exorcist house that they use is this one.
Yeah.
And I sat right here.
Yeah. That's the curb, remember when we were leaving? Yeah. That's great. We were in front of both of them and we didn't even realize it.
Son of a bitch.
Yep. We also were in front of this one. We walked by it. We were like, that's a really nice house.
DC's a beautiful city. My God.
Except for parts that look like crack den.
Yeah. I don't know. I even like that one part that we were by, right by the traffic circle. I pointed out to you, you like that shitty looking apartment building. I go, yeah, that thing is beautiful.
And there's an episode of Ghost Adventures where they go inside the house.
Oh.
I gotta find that episode.
Hey, that's all you. You know, I wanted to be a Ghostbuster, then I seen enough horror movies that cured me of that shit quickly.
Apparently, this is the real Exorcist.
I don't know. The last time I watched a couple of horror movies, I was like, yeah, I ought to beat the shit out of Freddy Krueger.
See, me personally, I don't know. Like, I grew up with that, a lot of that old world shit around here. Like, we get a lot of that shit that comes up from the Gulf comes up here, too. Like, so you get a lot of them people who went to, like, Voodoo and Hunan. You get a lot of those Haitian and Creole folks. You get a lot of them. They disseminate down into like parts of Brooklyn and Queens. Then you got all these people.
Someone built a Sims version of the Exorcist house.
Nice.
God bless this country. Seriously, God bless America and its ingenuity. But like, if you ever seen, like, to give you an idea, the fuck was it? The Devil's Advocate. Yeah, there's actually like a lot of that shit going on down there. Like, you can find certain places where.
Oh! Speaking of the Devil's Advocate, you know the church that Keanu Reeves goes to in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Don't tell me we passed that up.
No, it's here in my town.
Oh.
I drive past it at least 4 times a week.
Well, listen, I didn't walk past.
And the bar that they go to after church. Was Rosie's Bar. There's a gas station where it used to be. My mom used to go to that bar. And they even say in the show, the wife, she says, what are we going to do? You know, leave and find another place and tell them we're from some podunk town called Gainesville, Florida?
Oh, that's...
Well, then again, I can't talk, you know, here, shit. I live in a town that I say, you know, where the Phantom kill him, you know, murders all went down. Like, you ever see that show, you ever see the movie The Town That Dreaded Sundown?
No.
Oh, I said it's like look it up. That's where I'm living.
The book Rosewood, which is about an all-black town
Oh yeah, the
in
road.
Florida. I'm about 30 minutes away from there. It's literally where a whole bunch of KKK members went and lynched the entire town.
What?
Oh yeah,
Entire
yeah
town?
the
The
Rosewood
entire town.
massacre.
Bullshit. How that? You're telling me a bunch of those guys actually
Well,
took out an
they didn't
entire
lynch the
town?
whole entire town, but it's like it was
Well,
it was not.
there was actually people that were out of town at the time, but the people that were there, they set fire to the town and lynched the fuckers.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
It was actually around the holidays, so they were literally out of town visiting family that were, and this happened in what, the 60s, Pat?
Yeah, I think so.
Clever bastard. Shit.
Was it that late? I thought it was a little bit earlier. Jeez.
Let's see.
That's how I came.
Nonetheless, you're telling me like
But
the
yeah,
50s
it's
or
like
60s, these guys just roll into a town while everyone's, at like Thanksgiving. Alright, fuck you, we're lighting the shit on fire.
Yeah. And the thing was, like I said, it all got started. I'm saying over a lie.
Yep. This is
Oh,
Rosewood, Florida.
1923.
1923?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, yeah, I could see that happening in the 20s. Like,
And it's true. There's only one house that still exists.
Good. Wow. Well, you see,
Those are Native
this is
Hawaiians.
why it's good to have guns.
This is part of the Chicago massacre.
Oh yeah, that's the Republic Steel massacre. Yeah, I know that photo. That's a lot of good people.
Also part of the Rosewood massacre.
Mm-hmm.
If you could look something up for me, Tara, type in, there's a movie that was on HBO called Vendetta with Christopher Walken. I just was thinking about it.
Give me a
Because
second. I have IMDb on my phone.
Okay.
No, I'm thinking about V for Vendetta.
Yeah. No,
yeah, I
this
watched
made
that on November 5th. Remember the 5th of November.
I was thinking of this actually because Rosewood Massacre, there was actually a very good movie about it. I believe that was the one with Ving Rhames. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I always recommend that one to people.
Yeah, him and
well, there's one in
Don
2015 with Dean Cain.
No, that's not it. What were you saying, Pat? I'm sorry.
No, I said like when you talking about like my Rosewood had
Found
like Ving
it.
Rhames, like Don Cheadle was in there too.
Found
I
it.
believe so, yeah.
Vendetta, 1999. It was a TV movie with
Mhm.
Christopher Walken, Luke Askew, and Clancy Brown.
Yeah. I believe it was 1904 in New Orleans, Louisiana. Reason I brought it up, I wanted Burnside to see this movie if he ever gets the chance. I'm gonna look to see if I can find it, and I'll try to show it using Rabbit. That's the app I was just playing with before.
Yeah, he has to watch The Libertine with me anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's got to see the movie about Rosewood with Ving Rhames, and he's got to see this movie Vendetta with Christopher Walken. What it was. Now, this is the thing. Whenever the leftists like to talk to, whenever they sit there and they want to talk about institutionalized racism, I like to bring it up to them. I'm like, yeah, let's talk about it. Check this out. In 1904, the Democrats, when they lost the court case trying to try these Sicilian men for murdering an Irish police captain, and they found them not guilty, they didn't let them leave. They kept them in the prison anyway. To face charges the next day, lying in wait. The judge got disbarred over the shit, or was supposed to get, but never did. And the New Orleans, the city council, they took an ad out in a fucking newspaper, and they rallied the entire city of New Orleans, and they dragged these Sicilian men out of the jail cells, beat them to death, near death. Excuse me, beat them near death, hung them from the friggin' trees and lampposts, and shot them.
Damn.
Yeah. The president at the time, I'm not sure if he was the sitting president. Teddy Roosevelt was quoted as saying it was rather a good thing that the good people of New Orleans did to deal with the Dago menace.
Damn.
Yeah,
That's
you
dark.
really, yeah, you tell the progressives all that shit. Yeah, you got to see how they love to change the fucking subject.
So here's the history of the Rosewood Massacre. It was racially motivated. Took place during the first week of January 1923 in Levy County, Florida, which is not very far from me. At least 6 black people and 2 white people were killed, although eyewitnesses' accounts suggest the total as high as 150, which is about how many people lived in that town. It was abandoned and destroyed in what contemporary news reports characterized as a race riot. Florida had an especially high number of lynchings of black males in the years before the massacre. Before the massacre, the town had been quiet, primarily black, self-sufficient, whistle-stop, meaning there was a train nearby. Seaboard Airline Railway. Trouble began when white men from several nearby towns lynched a black Rosewood resident because of unsupported accusations that a white woman in nearby Sumner County had been beaten and possibly raped by a black drifter. When the townspeople rallied to defend themselves against further attacks, a mob of several hundred whites combined combed the countryside hunting for black people and burned almost every structure in Rosewood. Survivors from the town hid for several days in nearby swamps until they were evacuated by train and car to larger towns. No arrests were made.
Yeah, I know. Like, because I remember when watching the movie about that one part right there where the whole accusation got started because in the movie they made like the woman who made the accusation and stuff like that. You know, she was like a Jezebel. She was creeping around with, like everybody and shit like that. And one of the people that she was creeping with beat her ass. You know, but she didn't want to. But you know, she didn't want to. You know, like tell her husband and stuff like that. You know, otherwise he would have found out she was creeping. So yeah, she blamed it on a black person, and that's what got all the shit started. Well, that's what they put out in the movie, but I don't know if that's like the real motivation for the real thing. But I wouldn't be
That's
surprised
kind
at
of
this
fucked
time.
up, man. Small scuffle like that and then gets a whole town burnt down. Damn.
But oh yeah, man, shit in the movie. But I don't know. I think I watched the movie like one time, boy. That movie had me so goddamn lit up. And to that part right there at the end, man, dude walked up in there and whooped her motherfucking ass like she was a child. I just heard what tack tack, and the woman like ah. I don't know how many times I rewind that part. I'm like, beat her ass.
Okay, so I'm about to screen share again. I got requests to share some things. Here is the first one. This is another drawing done by our buddy Richard Art. I'm guessing it's supposed to be the good and bad versions of Goku.
I think one half's Majin Vegeta.
Okay, well, I know that this one's Goku because of the hair.
Yeah, the other half, that's Majin Vegeta because he's got that M on his forehead.
I see it.
And Scoobie found the information for that Italian massacre in New Orleans.
Wow. I'm just reading something in that, like the political repercussions in that Wikipedia article. And this is just an excerpt, but I had mentioned about what Roosevelt said. This is exactly what had happened. Roosevelt at the time, because it happened in 1891, he was he was serving as on the Civil Service Commission, and the quote was, "The contrasting American and Italian attitudes toward the lynchings are perhaps best summarized by Theodore Roosevelt's comment. Roosevelt, then serving on the United States Civil Service Commission, wrote to his sister Anna Roosevelt Cowles on March 21st, 1891, thus, quote, Monday we dined at the Cameroons. Various Dago diplomats were present, all much wrought up in the lynching of the Italians in New Orleans. Personally, I think it rather a good thing, and said so." So,
Wow.
that was the national attitude at the time.
And Richard Art just shared something with me, which I'll get to in a minute. So the lynching in New Orleans, March 14th, 1891, New Orleans lynchings were murders of 11 Italian Americans in New Orleans, Louisiana, by a mob of their alleged role in the murder of Police Chief David Hennessy. After some of them had been acquitted at trial, it was one of the largest mass lynchings in U.S. history. So they were accused of killing someone, they were acquitted, and then pretty much the town decided, oh, we're still going to kill him. It took place the day after the trial of 9 of the 19 men indicted in Hennessy's murder. 6 of these defendants were acquitted, and a mistrial was declared for the remaining 3 because the jury failed to agree with their verdicts. Widespread suspicion in the city at an Italian network of criminals was responsible for killing their police chief. The mob outside the jail numbered in the thousands and included some of the city's most prominent citizens. American press coverage of the event was largely congratulatory, and those responsible for the lynching were never charged.
They actually gave medals out to these motherfuckers.
God damn.
Yeah, this is one of those things I just like to point out. I have been accused of in the past because I'm very open-minded and will have a dialogue with anybody, and I have talked to people who have had rebel flags and other such memorabilia and other such nonsense flying in, the background behind them. Whatever, you want to rock that shit, roll on. But, what I'm saying, when you see that they did shit like this to me and mine, nah, I ain't the type to get lumped in with those types of people wearing white hoods. That's all I'm saying. Look at this shit, man. They took ads out in the paper, for God's sake. Damn. Just damn. Took ads out in the paper. These fucking guineas.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. Crazy. 11/11, make a wish.
Yeah.
Never heard of that.
But that New Orleans, I got look that one up right there. I'll probably
here. Give me a second, and I'll put the link in the side chat, or Scoobie could.
Yeah. You know what it is? I tell people all the time, I always look into things because I don't trust half of the shit that they say. Because after I seen the movie Goodfellas, and my whole family railed against it and everything because that movie's all bullshit. So I'm like, okay, if people who were alive during a movie that's supposed to be historical tell you that it's not true, I'm saying that I'm sitting there I want to start looking into different things. Like Rosewood, I definitely want to start looking into the history, see how much in the movie stacks up against it. The Birth of a Nation, the one that just came out, the thing that they changed about it, I won't watch the movie because they changed one of the key points, and to me, it actually it ruins the integrity of the film that they changed such a key point. I forget the guy's name, Nat, whatever his last name was. Forgive me for not remembering it. Not something that's on my mind a lot. But he led that slave uprising because the man was a very devout Christian. He believed that he heard God's word, and that's the reason he led that uprising. Hollywood changed that because they don't like Christianity. And they made it where a couple of white men in the movie raped a black woman. To me, that just ruins the integrity of
That I hate that junk right there, man.
Yeah. They ruined the integrity of the whole movie to me because that's a very important historical thing that these younger people should learn, and they have to change it with their leftist nonsense.
Yeah, and they rewrote it with bullshit. That's what I hate right there, man.
Yeah, the man was.
I hate when these fuckers do that to anything historic.
And
It
Yeah.
royally pisses me off.
Don't change history. The man was a Christian. Let it be what it was. And they want to demonize the white man. Fine. You know what? Fine. Fucking demonize him. You don't need to invent shit. Look to history enough.
Mhm.
Seriously, you don't need to get inventive with shit.
So Rich decided he was going to do some drawings of Bowser and Mario.
Kind of looks like a He-Man version. Pretty.
Hey,
Well, to me,
Hey, Scoop.
Bowser looks kind of like a Lion-O.
Mm-hmm.
Only with, Lion-O combined with Mum-Ra, and you have Bowser-Ra.
With a little bit of Beast Man.
Yeah, I can see
Yeah.
that. And then you have Mario over here looking like the skinny,
Looks like my cousin Pasquale. Especially that mustache. All I have to know is, does he have the silver sideburns like Hal Jordan and we're good?
Okay, Burnside wanted me to read this. It's the Memorial Day Massacre of 1937. The Chicago Police Department shot and killed 10 unarmed demonstrators in Chicago on May 30th, 1937. The incident took place during the Little Steel Strike in the United States. The incident arose after U.S. Steel signed a union contract, but smaller steel manufacturers called Little Steel, including Republic Steel, refused to do so. In protest, the steelworkers organized committee of the Congress in industrial organizations called a strike. Hundreds of sympathizers gathered at Sam's Place headquarters for the organization. As the crowded march across the prairie towards the Republic Steel Mill, a line of Chicago policemen blocked their path. Foremost protesters argued their right to continue. The police, feeling threatened, fired on the crowd. As the crowd fled, police bullets killed 10 people, injured 30. 9 were permanently disabled, and 8 had serious head injuries from police clubbing.
Money. Holy shit. 28. Damn.
So, and by contrast, the Valentine's Day Massacre, I think only 7 people were killed.
Yeah, that one wasn't too bad.
And let's excuse me. Let's be kind of fair, not the devil's advocate. Hey, Irv.
Hey, how's it going? Where did Pat go?
I think he accidentally dropped out.
Oh. How's it going, Irving?
He's on his tablet. He doesn't have a computer.
Oh. So he's got to go hit that thing with a baseball bat and remind it.
Yeah.
Go out and kick that thing's ass, Pat.
Not to devil's advocate too much, but I'm guessing because it was a union riot and it was a steelworkers union riot. Yeah, those cops definitely probably felt threatened. Have any of you guys ever been around the local ironworkers union? Have you ever seen what they look like? These guys, all they need to do basically is just grab your head and flex their arm. They just have to basically curl, and they can crush your head between bicep and forearm. They don't even have to do anything else. They're massive.
You're not wrong on that.
Yeah, seriously. I grew up around construction workers. I can completely understand how those cops would feel threatened.
Yeah.
Got some guy standing there screaming at you, his calf's twice the size of your head. Yeah, I'd feel threatened too.
Yeah. Basically what happened is they got fucked out of the union contract, or they wanted to counter the union contract with a different contract or something like that. So basically what happened, on Memorial Day, all the workers and some of their family members basically gathered over by the mill. They were trying to get to the entrance. And basically the cops were like, okay, you guys aren't getting in. I'm like, well, fuck you, we work here, get in, strike. No, we're not letting you pass. And then some of the higher ups that worked at the mill paid off the cops to use deadly force. Because, long story short, not only was it that, you've got these bulky iron fucking bending badasses just going like, fuck you, we want a better contract. But on top of it, basically, because since this was back in the day, pretty much a lot of shit was kind of under the table and underhanded deals. And this just so happened to be one of them, and they got fucked. The cops kind of got put in a bad situation. And the other thing was that I think they also had their own security there, if I remember correctly, which was Pinkerton, and it was either Republic Steel itself or some of the other people involved in the actual contract. Basically, hired Pinkerton onto a lot of their sites, and the thing with Pinkerton is they're basically hired brutes.
Yeah, they're no joke.
Yeah. So basically, all it took was one of the Pinkerton guys to just, bow up to one of the iron workers or steel workers and just crack him across the face, or even, just take one of their little cap guns and shoot him. And the cops would basically, in response, just go, "Oh shit, somebody fired a gun," and then pop, 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 pop.
Yeah. One of the things I recall, wasn't these riots that went down in the 30s and the early 40s, right before that we finally entered the war, weren't they the things that basically did in Pinkerton?
Yes, because Pinkerton was notorious for doing shit like this. What they did is they would be hired onto a site specifically so that they could cause incidents like what happened in the Republic Steel Massacre, where they would shoot demonstrators and they beat demonstrators to death. And on some occasions, they're absolute, agent provocateurs. And in this case, the cops kind of got the rep for it because, long story short, Pinkerton had the same type of guns as them, so they just basically pulled the 38s out of them. What the fuck's up with this? Yeah,
all right,
real
so,
shit, Sam.
Burnside, you said we could talk about gun laws?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I was waiting for everyone to get here so that we could get a full circle with it. It seems that Pat's wrestling with that communist-made tablet, but I'm sure
actually, he's wrestling with his internet.
all right. Okay.
Well, speaking of wrestling, I actually have to go wrestle with New York traffic for about 20 minutes to go get my wife.
Oh, shit.
That should actually give you enough time to get Pat back in. And, by the time I get back, because I got a bitch anyway about Cuomo. So, yeah, that'll give you guys enough time to talk about everything else.
All right, sure.
I read the paper yesterday and I hit the ceiling. My mother yelled at me. She's like, that woman could have been a Sicilian that you're sitting there yelling about how you got a mafioso governor up in Albany that was screaming in the supermarket. I seen the newspaper and it says shooting in California, governor and legislation call for even tighter and stricter gun laws to be enacted in New York State. And I'm like, what the fuck stricter laws does this man want?
As it is, they're almost banned.
Yeah.
The only reason why they can't ban it is because of the Second Amendment.
I know.
You guys got worse gun laws than over here, man. I thought over here was pretty shitty.
Yeah, well, you know what it is? Like, a lot of people don't realize, and this is the thing, Six Hexenhammer said it, I think it was on his video yesterday. He doesn't realize, he said that New York does not have castle doctrine. Oh, no, we got castle doctrine, all right. You bet your ass we do, because you see, New York, you got to have lethal rounds. You got to shoot to kill.
Pretty much hollow points.
I'm back.
Yeah. Hey, Pat. Glad you're back. Yeah, my state has, it's a 4-hit, it's a 4-shot minimum they want you to do, which is 2 to the head, 2 to the chest. They literally, this is what they tell you to do. Boom, 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 done. Dead. That's why they give you the 7 rounds. That they want you to have like 7 rounds or less. They expect it to be a single perp in your house, and they want you to be within about 10 to 20 feet of the guy, and they want you to blow his brains out and blow his heart out, and That's it. Because New York State, the way that they do it is like I try explaining to people how the laws work in my state. They want it cut and dry. They want it to be he's a dirty piece of shit. He was in your house. You sprayed your carpet with his brains. That's it. It's done. It's over. We don't have to do much more investigation. Next case. That's it. It's like a conveyor belt model because our population rivals Hong Kong. So they just do shit like that quick. You know?
Damn.
Like, just give you an idea really quick. I'm not going to use his real last name just because of whatever. But my nephew had to stand in front of the judge for he was in front of, like for St. Patty's Day. And so the cop goes like this, to the judge. He goes, Your Honor, I got this guy on a D&D, that's drunk and disorderly. I got him on a drunk and disorderly in Penn Station. He goes, Oh, you do you, officer? Mm-hmm. I'm looking over all of the evidence here. Do you have a breathalyzer for this young man? No, Your Honor, I don't. Oh, you don't, do you? So you just have this magical ability to tell whether or not this guy was drunk without having the proper paperwork to back it up. Well, no. Okay, thank you. Dismissed. And that was it. He threw it out because there was no evidence. He didn't want to be bothered. It moves that fast. They don't give a fuck.
Bureaucracy works for you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The judge actually chewed the cop out. He turned to my nephew. He goes, Sir, I'm so sorry that New York State decided to waste your time. This officer should have known better and done his job properly.
Ooh, damn.
Damn.
I'll never hear that in court. Holy fuck.
Oh, bro, you got to go sit in the New York City courtroom one day and just listen to these judges rip into these cops. Officer, is this your first time at this rodeo? Oh, it isn't. Then why are you acting like a clown?
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah. Oh.
Comedy gold.
Yeah. It's too bad that it's actually a Class A felony to sneak in a camera, or I'd bring one in.
I just bring a pad and paper and write down.
Yeah. I think I told you guys about what happened when I went with my father once and he was in the DOT court and they pulled the kid over for drunk driving.
No, I don't think so.
All right. I'll tell you this really quick. You want to go into gun laws, and I got to go leave to get the wife. I'm there with my father, and he's got to stand in front of the judge. It was on, I believe it was on the hazmat tags or whatever. It was a bullshit ticket that the cop gave, but the old man was there for it regardless because it was his thing. And so, prosecutor standing there in front of the judge, and the kid standing there, no lawyer. Prosecutor says to the judge, Your Honor, New York State wants to dismiss all charges. Judge says, okay, son, the state wishes to drop all charges. And the kid goes like this, Your Honor, this is my third time in front of the state. This is the third time the state has been unprepared. I would like to have my day in court, Your Honor. And he says, son, the state is willing to drop all charges. You do realize that if you follow through on this, you're going to have to face the state, and you might have to go to trial for this. He said, oh, yes, Your Honor, I'm fully aware of that. So the judge looks over at the prosecutor, and the prosecutor just shrugs. He goes, okay, let me hear what you say. Let me hear let me hear it. So the prosecutor gives the spiel that the kid got pulled over for driving while intoxicated and got busted for drunk driving. And so the judge goes like this. Okay, son, how do you plead? He says, oh, Your Honor, I was 100% drunk. He said, I was so drunk, he's like, it was a miracle I could stand. He says, okay, this isn't really helping you. He's like, what's your point? He goes, Your Honor, I'm legally blind. So the judge looks at him and goes, what? He says, can I show you something, Your Honor? And he pulls out these glasses. My right hand to God, they look like something Van Helsing would wear. I'm looking like, holy shit. And so the judge got this look on his face like, holy shit. The prosecutor's got this look on his face like, oh, fuck. So the judge goes like this. How? And he couldn't finish the thought. He says, Your Honor, we were driving, and for the life of me, I can't remember what car he was in, but it was a late model car from the 70s, and it was one of those ones where it was a coupe, so it only had these 2 doors, and the doors they were enormous. So the cop pulled them over, and they were on the side of the road, and I guess because of the way the embankment was, they could only get out on the driver's side. So front and back seat, everyone filed out, and this guy was the last one out. So the cop gave him the ticket. And the cop, cuffed him and ran him in for drunk driving. And so the judge goes like this. The judge is looking at him now, and I'm watching this judge turn lavender. And so he goes like this to the kid. He's now, I could hear it in the judge's voice. He's full of rage. He goes, "Didn't you tell this officer that you were legally blind when he was arresting you?" He says, "Oh, yes, Your Honor, I did." He said, "And what did the officer say?" He said, "Well, he said, you can tell it to the judge." He said, "Your Honor, this is why I've showed up 3 times for my court case to tell it to the judge, and 3 times the state has tried to deny me. So I was hoping you'd listen and hear me out." He's like, "Oh, son, you have no idea how happy I am you brought this to my attention." So he turns to this friggin' guy, this prosecutor, and I looked at this judge, and holy shit, it scared the hell out of me to look on this judge's face. Picks the gavel up in his hand, and he looks at this prosecutor, and he points it at him, and he goes like this. He goes, "I want that officer, and I want his watch commander in front of me tomorrow at 7 a.m. sharp. If they're not both here at 7 a.m. sharp, I want them here at 7:05, and I want them in shackles. And I want them to both show cause why this young man was put through the system, and why it was done improperly, and why this was brought to my courtroom 3 times and not handled properly before it got to my bench." And I was sitting there like, holy shit. And I turned to my father. He said, "You see, this is why I tell you never mess with a judge." I couldn't believe that. When he said to that prosecutor, "I want them here at 7 o'clock sharp, and if they're not here at 7 a.m., they're to be here at 7:05 in shackles," I was like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. Bro, you gotta see, like, it's you gotta look into our state constitution. New York State has the longest constitution out of any state, and our judges got
I'll be
power.
back.
Yeah, we had one over by the park and ride. There was this guy who was selling coffee for years, and it was over by where it was near the courts, and the guy's coffee was really shitty. The judge actually dragged him in and had him, like, put him up. Bro, it was all over the news.
What?
He's like, "You got the balls to be selling this swill out in front of my courtroom?"
Oh my god. That's the type of shit I do if they let me practice law.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Let me go ask my mother about this. That's her favorite case.
Oh my god, you've got to have her tell us this story.
Oh, yeah, she was the one telling me, because my father came home and he was telling her. He's like, "You got to hear about this." He's like, "That judge." I think it was the judge my brother stood in front of a few times.
Oh god.
Yeah, hold on. She's got this
Is
new
my-
robe.
Is this chant? I can't even talk.
1 second.
Let's take bets that this judge's name is Red Foreman. Fucking hell.
So how's everybody been this week?
Been okay, tired. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear
Waiting
ya.
to see if my new governor
4
builds
a.m.
the
shit for
Berlin.
murder.
Come again?
Oh,
Who that? Me or Burnside?
You, Pat.
No, I said like been all right. Like 4 a.m. shifts, boy, they murder because
Oh,
Okay,
It
little
fucks-
boys.
it fucks up my
Are we-
sleep schedule, and
Yeah.
I miss a whole lot of stuff.
Are we ready to talk gun laws?
Hold on 1 second, Tara. I got a treat for you.
Oh God,
Yeah.
what the fuck are you
My name.
doing?
I
Oh, this is
vaguely
gonna be
remember
great.
this. My father had to go to court for tickets,
Uh-huh.
and he was in court, and the judge told the guy, "What's that guy that does this stuff in the corner? The district, whoever's the clerk."
The clerk.
Told the clerk to go out and get him coffee.
Yeah.
And the clerk came in with the coffee, and the judge said, He spit it out and told him, "What is this crap? Where did you get this? Did you go out and get that from the car?" And the guy said, "Yeah." The judge left the chamber, went out, grabbed 2 cops and made them arrest the guy and pulled him in front of him and said, "You're selling this swill to people? You drink it." And he'd find him. Craziest thing.
I love your
figured
mother.
yeah, I figured they'd appreciate that. Thanks, Mom.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't fuck around, man. These New York judges. I think I told you I seen a cop pulled over a judge once, and the judge wasn't in the mood. He got out the car and he's sitting there berating the cop. Yeah, they don't give a shit.
God damn, I want judges like that in the state. That some shit might actually get done over here. They might actually clean up these dead bodies.
Well, the last time I was arrested, the judge looked at me and goes, "If this goes to court," because it was evident that I was innocent. It never went to court.
Nice.
It was being said that I beat a bitch up, and I had flat out looked at the cop and said, if I beat her up, if I'd hit her in the chest and face like she claimed, she wouldn't be talking. And the officer looks at me, looks at her, and goes, "I believe it." He goes, "But she called, so I have to arrest you." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine." I spend the night in jail.
Right.
Spend a night in jail making that shank.
Speaking of spending a night in jail for getting my ass beat, the 2 things at once. I'm probably going to get that happen to me if I don't go get my wife. I'll be right back.
Go get
All
Peaches.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, we just had to hear that story before he left.
All right, so everyone here knows about the Thousand Oaks shooting, right?
Yeah.
All right.
No idea.
So one person posted on. Okay, apparently, like 5 people were shot and killed in bar and grill in Thousand Oaks, California, including a sheriff's officer. And a person tweeted naming off different places where shootings have happened, including a yoga class. Said, "When will Congress stand up to the NRA so Americans don't have to stand up to gunmen?" And then post this image where it shows America having 18 times higher gun homicides than any other country. So someone says, "Do you honestly feel that reducing the amount of firearms in this country will produce less homicides? Because it won't."
No.
Yep, but it will make more dead bodies.
So
No, go ahead.
the next person, who I refer to as Swiffer, says, "I mean, if we could get rid of guns, it probably would." I said, "No, it won't. That's what arms dealers are for." I said, look at England. They ban guns. Now there's knife violence. They ban sharp-tipped knives. Now there's blunt object violence. The violence will continue no matter the weapon.
Exactly. Because evil people don't obey the law. No,
Exactly.
Then Real James Knight says, U.S. has much higher homicide rates regardless. To which, one thing that they are not taking into account is that America has one of the highest populations country-wise than almost any other country, other than China.
Another interesting fact is that there are more firearms in this country than there are people.
Yeah, about like 3 times, right?
It would be virtually impossible to ban and or confiscate effectively.
Yeah, they would literally have to repeal the Second Amendment, which would not happen.
Yeah,
they could repeal the Second Amendment and it still wouldn't do any good. There are still too many firearms in this country.
There's a
The only realistic scenario that they could ever get done what they want to get done is if they had a time machine and traveled back to 1910. In 2018, it's impossible.
Yeah. So Don't Be Dumb says that the problem is actually with mental health care in the U.S. because I had said earlier that it's because our judicial system is shit, and we should bring back public execution. That would put a damper on any violence. Which I don't mean, drag the perp out into the, Times Square or where the fuck ever and, execute him on the spot. Publicize it, put it on television. You can still do it nice and clean, but publicize it. This is what happens when you shoot people.
I don't think the death penalty is a deterrent. Like, I mean, statistically, it just doesn't seem to be.
If people were actually smart, then it would be a deterrent.
Yeah.
But we have too many idiots.
And that's part of that is due to our education system.
Man, well,
and communism.
Our education system just went to shit as well.
The real James Knight says the UK doesn't have the death penalty, according to Miss Steam, who is from England. Says they do have the death penalty. They just don't use it often. And that homicide rates are drastically lower than the US. Again, population. It's probably because they're trying to move forward as a nation instead of backwards, like you're suggesting, meaning bringing back public execution.
Oh, move so forward. Make it legal for ISIS to go Allahu at terrorism bar. It's so very progressive. Ever not think of the goats?
So
is Burnside ultroning for you guys as much?
A little bit.
Yes, it's his headset.
Oh, okay.
Oh, god damn it.
Yeah.
That's why I keep telling him, unplug the headset and just use the mic on the fucking computer. You sound better that way.
Alright.
Then Don't Be Dumb says the problem is with the mental health care in the US. Our mental health care and youth counseling is shit. That's the problem, not guns. Guns don't kill people, people kill people. Way more people are killed by DUIs every year. Should we ban cars or alcohol? I agree. Violence sucks. Swiffer says, yes, we should ban alcohol. Really, it's a combination of guns and mental health. To which I
That
replied,
motherfucker can take my six-pack from my cold, dead fucking hands. And he can go climb the goddamn Berlin Wall Fitzger's gonna make to fucking keep me in this goddamn place.
well, I replied to that saying, no, they won't. Or, where was it I replied to it? I had said that they already tried that.
Yeah, that's how we got the mob.
It was called prohibition.
See, this why I can't get about with these moral sounding motherfuckers that be on the internet and shit like that. They don't think they damn arguments through because they're too busy trying to sound all morally superior and shit like that just so they can get the fucking likes. But they fail to realize that all the stuff that they're suggesting and all the stuff they keep barking about and everything is not going to change a damn thing because evil people are going to do evil shit regardless of what the laws is. You ban guns, I'm saying, they're going to find a way to get guns in here, or they're just going to go to a new type of method of killing your ass. It's like, if they want to have to do it, they're going to fucking do it.
Just take a look at the so-called war on drugs.
Yeah.
Guess what's banned? These drugs. Guess what you can get fairly easily? These drugs. How can that be if they've been banned?
I just love some of the jokes that I've seen on the internet about that. Like, yeah, no, let's just make guns illegal. That'll stop people from shooting each other. That's how we got people to stop doing drugs. Drugs.
No, tonight I was asked to go to. I had to drive the kid and my roommate to Kmart and so she could get a fucking Christmas tree. And then we went to the gas station and I parked at the back end of the gas station because all the fucking areas were filled up and I'm sick. I didn't feel like doing shit. So I get out, I go inside, and apparently where I parked, there were two drug dealers standing on the corner and did 2 drug deals right there while I was in the store for like 5 minutes.
Oh, God. I got something almost as funny as that.
So what I ended up saying in response to the whole banning alcohol, I said, they already tried that. It's part of American history called prohibition. More alcohol was sold and produced illegally than police could keep up with.
And that made Al Capone almost mayor. Almost mayor. God, he would have been a great mayor.
Yeah, it's like I get these people arguments. The thing is that they just don't think the stuff through. It's like, like just because you try to say, oh, we need to get rid of this, we get rid of that, doesn't mean the shit's going to be getting rid of. Now it sounds good in your head, but like I told you, man, evil people are not going to abide by the law. Now I'm not, it's like, we do need to come up with better suggestions of how to handle this situation and all that right there. But just the things that this right here barking about on the internet, doesn't matter how much you bark, it ain't gonna work.
Yep. I mean, hell, they banned assault rifles here in Chicago and pretty much in the rest of Illinois for the most part. And you want to know what everyone was doing for every fucking New Year's in Cabrini Green? Firing off assault rifles, ballistic dogs, armor lights, any fucking type of assault rifle you could get. Everybody would go to the fucking hood of Cabrini Green, right in front of that big ass fucking building in front of the cameras, because they knew they had security cameras, and fucking cops weren't gonna go there because they're like, yeah, fuck this, dude, grab the popcorn, watch these guys. They're gonna do the gangbangers, and everybody from every gang would stop killing each other for that night alone because they'd troll the police and the city council just by sitting in front of all those cameras and just firing off all their assault rifles. Yeah, assault rifle band were wonderful from Chicago. The gangbangers get together every year to troll them. Just let them know.
You'll love this. Don't Be Dumb says the government makes millions, if not billions, in alcohol sales in this country. The state of Pennsylvania is the largest buyer of wine for all of California's vineyards. Should we ban gasoline if someone uses it violently? This is a tough issue to solve, but bans will not work here. Swiffer goes, they kinda would. My response, which was 11 hours ago, no, they wouldn't. Plus, states banning guns altogether violates the Second Amendment. Many other countries don't have a constitution like ours.
Yep, they have no constitution. They have the illusion of rights. Like our poor buddy here, Irving, knows about that.
No, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm trying to find it.
I was just going to say the first section of our Constitution is the government's ability to limit the rights laid out in the second section of the Constitution.
Yeah, how fucked up is that?
All right, so I had posted on my Twitter saying, keep in mind that the states that ban or have extreme gun laws, which I meant to put in, for shortness sake, I didn't put it in, which I was meaning like Detroit, Chicago, New York. There are large percentages of gun violence. However, in states like Texas, where you can have your gun with you at all times, there's very little gun violence.
Yeah, that seems to be kind of a trend, right? That anywhere a bad person with a gun and ill intentions knows everybody else doesn't have a gun, gun crime and crime in general is worse.
And Texas has, unlike the castle law means you can defend your home. Texas has stand your ground law, which literally means wherever the fuck you're standing and somebody's being violent towards you and, you can shoot them, they would probably shoot them. There's a huge difference between the stand your ground law and the castle law. The castle means your home. Stand your ground is literally where the fuck you are. So I got a response on my Twitter. Yes.
No matter where you go, there you are.
See, that's why on my paperwork, because technically I am homeless. I just bounce from couch to couch pretty much. I can say my home is wherever I'm at. Florida doesn't have any particulars. It doesn't have to literally be four walls. Someone replied saying, import restrictions, countries are much easier to prevent import of something than states. And Inquisitor replies with, I might have to disagree, Jim. It's been stated that there are some movie studios that use real AK-47s in movies because it's cheaper and easier to buy them on the black market than it is for a prop master to make a fake.
Actually, they're not wrong on that. Yeah. That's why I got the particular one I have.
Real James Knight says on my post, yeah, sorry, but still actually the opposite is true. Where they send me these posted these screenshots of gun rates or gun violence in different states. Alaska, 177, shit like that. And it actually ends up showing Texas as having
fucking bears and wolves and shit.
It shows Texas as having 3,353. Now, first of all, with Alaska, most people die of the fucking cold.
Or bears, or wolves, or yetis, or
babe.
Conspiracy theories.
Baby,
yeah,
they freeze to death.
Or wolves.
No, they freeze to death.
But then they get eaten. I mean, there's fucking polar bear ninjas up there. Like fucking sneaky ass polar bears are just
the polar bears rarely wander into town. When they do, they're usually searching for food, and they go through your trash cans. They'll run from you. Before my mom and my aunt, my family, except for me, used to live in Alaska because my mom was an army brat. They freeze to death before they die of gun violence or anything else.
What about getting eaten by the wildlife? Is that high up there?
Only if you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Okay, so it's relative. All right.
So, yeah, I didn't respond to him because he already annoyed me on the other post. Liberal Sanity Project comments saying, how do you explain countries that have extreme gun laws and have much lower percentage of gun violence than the states with loose gun laws? Now,
someone trying to stack the deck there into a communist favor.
Now, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this with someone from Texas on here.
Yep.
I talked about it a little bit last night on Scoobie's show with Nano, but we all know how Nano can be. Six, would you say that your gun laws in Texas are loose?
Loose-ish.
But you still have to go through the universal background check.
When I worked at the gun store, we had to run the 4473 forms.
And you have to, have them, they have to take like a mental health quiz on there, right?
Yeah, they have. You have to check the boxes, and if they're not being straightforward, the background check normally would catch it.
And you have a 10 to 30 day wait to get your gun?
More or less. Sometimes it was just a few days, depending on the severity of what sort of position the potential buyer was in. Sometimes they would take a while for them to get cleared.
Exactly, and not all of them get cleared, correct?
Not everybody gets cleared, no.
And it's hard to hide a fucking background. Like the guy that shot up Thousand Oaks, the bar and grill there, he passed the background check. He never committed any crimes before this.
Sounds like a sleeper agent.
No record of mental health issues. Nothing like that.
One day just said, fuck it.
Pretty much.
Wasn't he visited by a mental health professional that cleared him?
Yeah.
Damn.
Fuck's sake. California really needs to get their act together.
And I think that's what a lot of people really have a problem with is like they can't predict human nature, It's like they can't predict who's gonna fucking, like all of a sudden just snap all at once and shit like that. So it's like hell.
And Lucky Pop-Tart, I love her. We all know Poppy. She's in Texas.
She's a sweetheart.
She says, have you looked up other violent crimes in these places? Talking to Liberal Sanity Project.
No, because Obama has taught him to love his communism. Communism is so great. It takes all guns. So the only deaths that occur are swept under the table.
Don't Be Dumb even said, I'd be willing to concede a tougher background check. However, it's not easy to purchase a gun as there is already a strict background checks to do so. The latest mass shooting perp was never charged with a crime and would pass a tougher check.
It seems that these people have an obsession with wanting to control everything. You can't control everything. You just need to accept it. Someday, someone, for some reason, will do crazy shit like, I don't know, shoot somebody, stab somebody, fuck his wife, fuck his daughter, fuck his dog. Do all of those at the same time while doing cocaine accessories.
And then
Not much you
steal
can
his
really
car.
do about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, people bring up the mental health of the individual. The man has been cleared of mental health. He just shot up a place.
Maybe they fucked up his sandwich one too many times. That's why I don't go to the Burger King anymore in my neighborhood. They fuck up my sandwich.
One of the things that is said is, let's see. When you feel unsafe everywhere because of a daily threat to your life, it's domestic terrorism. I don't feel threatened every day of my life.
I do. You don't see me bitch about domestic terrorism.
Exactly. I mean, what you get the Kevlar plated Saab shot at how many times a day?
Fuck, at least a few. I had to actually check my front passenger tire because I thought I got a fucking flat because of a bullet.
Shit,
I left out.
The other night, I was walking Cody, and I heard arguing in the back, and I'm like, shit, someone's gonna get shot. And next thing I hear is click, bam! And I just turned my head slowly. It wasn't a whip around or anything. I was like, yep, cops are coming. And the next thing I see is this white car come flying around the curve. Thank God the dog was still shitting. And go flying off. And then come 3 cop trucks.
Trucks?
Yeah, they drive Dodge trucks.
Yeah, a lot of rural PDs in lieu of like squad cars, like sedans.
Which they do drive those.
SUVs and sometimes pickup trucks.
These are kind of like the Chevy Blazer S10 with
the Suburban.
Oh, they got cool shit. What the fuck? We need those over here, man. Are you kidding me?
And they also drive. We also have them driving Challengers.
I see
Chargers,
in
whichever
Texas,
one is Dodge.
We have these slick little suburban police vehicles. I've nicknamed Bob's, Bros, and Wows.
What?
Okay, a wow is a white on white. Okay, when you're behind the car and you're just pulling up to the side of the car, it just looks like a regular white Suburban. But if you look at it, the door straight on, then you can see that there is a slightly different shade of white that says police. And there are tan vehicles that I call Bros that you can look straight on at the door and it will say police. And Bob's, which is black on black, you can look at it and it says police. So you have three shades of vehicle: white, tan, and brown, black.
Yeah, that down the covers.
So Edward Torres actually brings up a good point, and there's a little joke in here. So at any time will we ever blame the shooter for what they do? He misspelled blame, and he corrects it in the next thing because Twitter's a dick and won't let you edit. So Splice Knight says blam, like with a gunshot to the head. I think they mean do most of them already do that to escape capability anyway? But yeah, we can blame the shooters, but it doesn't resolve the core issue that leads to another shooter. Again, this drives me insane because the gun isn't the problem. Once the trial is over, the guns sit in evidence for a certain amount of time. And then because it was involved in a crime, it gets melted down. It does not get... It does not go to a pawn shop. It doesn't get, issued out to a cop or anything. It gets melted down.
Well, first it gets cut in half with the fucking angle grinder. Then it's melted down.
We used to actually chuck ours into the deepest part of the lake. That's not a joke. Lake Ontario, yeah.
Yeah.
So Anna Cabrera says, I swear this pisses me off. There's a lot that can be done, but they don't. NRA donates money to the government. That's why they don't stand up and speak up. They'll be losing money.
Oh, God. These guys are dumb. They're not going to lose money from this. It's very simple. Okay, stop trying to control everyone. Simple as that.
Give speaking of controlling everyone.
Everyone can kill each other. That way no one will have the balls to squeeze the trigger because they know someone else will kill them for doing so.
Well, speaking of controlling everyone.
I used to be one of these... well, we didn't have a name for it back then, but I used to be one of these SJW types. And thing is, I was afraid of everybody. So I either directly or indirectly, subtly or overtly, tried to control people around me. Through
you became a manipulator like most SJWs.
Yeah, I became an asshole. So I know the psychology because I used to be one of these pricks. Luckily,
Jack
I grew
Shitty,
up.
Literally Shitty, SHIDDY, says, okay, here's your answer. We determined that the NRA is a terrorist organization. Then we make it illegal for elected officials to accept their money. Let them keep their little club, but get their money out of government once and for all. Until then, nothing will change.
Right. Because it's totally the NRA's fault because they distribute firearms when they don't, because they're just a bunch of guys that hang around and talk about guns.
And how exactly are you supposed to declare one of the least violent, most law-abiding groups of people in the United States a terrorist organization?
Exactly. Not only that, the NRA promotes, and I mean avidly. I used to see fucking Ted Nugent on commercials and shit like that all the time saying, if you have a gun in the house and you have children, if they're old enough, take them to the gun range and teach them the respect of a firearm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
A healthy respect is the best education you can give.
I mean, in my entire life, I have fired a 22, a 12 gauge, and I think it was either a 45 or a 38. And I fired a Ruger. I was actually trying to kill a dog at that time.
I have a Ruger. I have a 22. It's a 357, but it fires 38 as well. I also have a 45.
I will incredibly soon probably not be able to own any guns thanks to our new premier governor.
Oh, I also have a 12 gauge. And guess what? I haven't committed any gun crimes. Why? Because I'm a law-abiding gun owner.
Damn straight.
Like 99.99% of my fellow gun owners.
Yeah, my aunt and uncle own guns. I will only tell one type of gun that we have, which is an AK. And we have like 6 guns in the house. My uncle carries one on him at all times when he's traveling. He has a concealed carry permit. He has his open carry permit because in Florida you have to have a permit for it. All the others are within legal, that you don't have to have a permit. They're within the legal size. But they're not members of the NRA, but they are law-abiding gun owners. When I first fired the 12 gauge, I was about 10 years old, and we had just found out that the man that molested me when I was 9 had gotten out of prison. due to health reasons. So that next weekend, my dad was like, if this man shows, because when, you know, the district attorney and everything came to our house and told us, and I was standing right there, and my mom just looks at me, and I ran to my room, and I didn't come out for 3 fucking days. I didn't go to school, nothing.
Hey, Tara.
Yeah?
I want to show you 2 tools. Okay. You like the hair? Unless you're frizzy. Anyhow.
Starting to get a wafro there.
Yeah. Okay, here are 2 tools. They're both big. They're both black. They're both awesome. The first one is a Walther P99, 40 caliber, because I got it on my 40th birthday, so it fitting. Anyhow, this is a tool. In the right hands, it can, prevent lots and lots and lots of bad things. Okay, here's another tool. This is a remote control. In the wrong hands, one can watch lots and lots and lots and lots of very bad things. These are both tools.
I like the first one better.
Oh, you like this one better?
Yeah.
When we CNN, that's just. Yeah.
So do I. I like this one. This one's nice. It's heavier,
Yeah, right.
but it's nice.
I'll take the gun over CNN any day.
Yeah.
Racket, 46 racket.
But my
oh, you want me to
dad
rack it?
decided,
I'll rack it. Oh,
there we
magazine's still in there, and then
yeah, but it was like how Burnside said earlier. What these people got to realize that they can't control everything, and and the stuff that they even be trying to suggest and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, it may sound good in your head, but in reality, it just ain't going to work out. Now, I'm not saying that what they're suggesting and things like that, it isn't a bad thing, but it's got to, I'm saying, it's got to like fantasy and reality, you got to, hey.
I should have done a Steven Crowder and said this stream is sponsored by Walther.
And then it doesn't help, like I said, when a lot of people who are speaking this nonsense, like these popular, boneheaded, uppity ass people, you got the Alyssa Milanos, you got the Don Lemons, you got the Ed and Brian Crandensteins and shit like that. When they're sitting up here barking this stuff right here, and you got people looking up to it, motherfucking ass, that's how this stuff really gets started.
Now, Pat, I heard that you were in the military, right?
Yep.
Okay, and you've also said that you're not a big gun fan.
Like I said, I'm more now like I do my stuff like really non-lethal. I got a lot of tasers, pepper spray, and then I got these guns on my damn shoulders.
Awesome.
And they are some sexy guns too. But I'm just letting anyone watching know that even a man who is more for non-lethal force isn't trying to push for, tighter, quote unquote, tighter gun regulations. They're already tight enough as it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, stricter gun laws aren't going to do anything other than make more dead bodies. I mean, I gotta go through how many I got in Chicago right now, and then tell you guys how strict our guns law, and then have Scoobie, when he gets back, tell you how stricter they are over there and how many bodies they got, and so on and so forth, because the harder they make it for law-abiding citizens to get guns, they make it a lot easier for non-law-abiding citizens to get guns, because there's this thing called the black market, and gangs and criminals and all that good shit. I mean, hell, if people really wanted to, they could do like crazy shit ISIS does, where they go ahead and they just get a whole bunch of scrap and they make guns and IEDs and shit like that out of it, and then just
come on, in England and France, what they do, they use trains and lollies.
Mm-hmm.
Trains and lollies to kill people.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Because guns are banned.
Yeah, and like we've been saying all throughout the stream, you take away guns, they're going to use knives. Take away knives, they're going to use something else. Take away that, they're going to use their fists. Cut off their hands, they're just going to headbutt you. No matter what you take away, goddammit, they're going to find some other way to beat your ass.
And I'm going to tell everyone listening right now, there are still countries that do public execution, and guess what? There's very little violence.
I'm in the middle with public execution because I do get into my sadistic moods where I'm like, all right, Red Foreman him, put your foot in his ass. And then if he's like, a murderer and that, all right, by all means, either let him swing.
That's what I mean, is like if it's a killer, gun violence, put him in front of a firing squad. I still think that's good. Last I knew, that's still an option in Texas. Yeah, I had heard on TV.
Well, there's no option to break into my apartment. I would not recommend.
I had heard on TV a few years ago. Don't ask me how many years. I just know it was a few years ago that a man in Texas was convicted of a crime, was sentenced to death, and he was told, I think he was going to get the electric chair, and he opted for a firing squad.
Nice.
And he got it.
Well, firing squad would be a much cleaner kill because there's something that most people don't know about the electric chair is that it's not nearly as efficient as one might imagine.
Here in Florida, we have Old Sparky, and there was a man that was electrocuted, and they had to do it 5 different times and then put a bullet in his head because he was still alive.
Let me tell you this. The reason they even had the electric chair was because when it was first invented, electricity was still fairly new, so they wanted to use it for something really cool, like that. It was trending. #electric chair. It was a trending technology. So, hey, why don't we come up with something that uses this new thing called electricity? So that's how the electric chair caught on because of that.
Well, I think in Florida we have an upgraded version. Old Sparky is only used upon request.
They still use it? I thought they retired that.
Literally upon request.
That's kind of
the last person to use Old Sparky was the guy that was like electrocuted 4 or 5 times, and then they had to put a bullet in his brain.
Oh God! The electric chair did kill him, so they had to shoot him.
No, but it killed just about everything else in him except for his. He was still breathing. He was still somewhat responsive, and his brain was still working. So they had to do something quickly, but he looked like he was dead on the last try, so they went ahead and pulled him down, and then they found out he was still alive, and so they had to literally put a bullet in his head because they had to put him into the incinerator almost immediately.
Oh, everybody knows my preferred method of execution, and they swim in the sea.
Yeah, but I don't want to make the shark sick. Poor sharkies.
But now these days, like I said, the most preferred method is like with lethal injection. So
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but there's people that are naturally immune to some of that shit, or they've done so many drugs they're immune to it.
Sharks.
I don't know. I'm pretty sadistic. I think.
I'm serious. If they were to try and use lethal injection on Ozzy Osbourne or Keith Richards, them fuckers would be like, "Oh my God, this is the greatest I have ever had."
Dude,
and still keep kicking.
If you wanted to kill Ozzy Osbourne, you need to drop that dude into a bath of liquid silver to kill him. Like literally, like liquid blessed.
Yeah, because he'd bite the head off of a fucking shark.
He would. He'd spit it back out too.
And then piss on the Alamo. You know, he was
Again.
he was banned from the city of San Antonio for what, 20 years?
He actually pissed on the Alamo. Are you
Yep.
serious?
Yes, he did. He did a concert near there, and
Oh my god.
He was shit-faced, and he visited the Alamo and took a whiz on the side of it.
yeah.
God, oh, god damn.
So he wasn't allowed in the city of San Antonio for like 20
Well,
years.
shit. When you gotta go, you gotta go.
My thought is how many animals have already pissed and shit on the side of the Alamo? Come on.
How
Or
many-
think about when you know
So are we saying
Davy
Ozzy Osbourne
Crockett
today?
was, you know, commanding the fucking place. Guaranteed he pissed off the side of that constantly.
I don't know, man. Alamo doesn't strike me as a fort that people would just piss on all the time.
Dude, I'd go there and somebody would tell, was it Davy Crockett or David
Davy Crockett.
Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
If they were to tell me, oh, this is the room where he slept in, my happy ass would go in there and lay in his bed.
So,
God.
Davy Crockett, Jim Bowie.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've seen the Alamo with John Wayne and Lorne Green like 50 times.
Nice.
I think that's the only good version, in my opinion.
Wow, Rich and his alter ego Dick are pretty seriously vindictive kids.
Yeah.
I leave them alone for 5 minutes and they start trying to kill each other.
No, I think they're talking about zapping somebody that did a violent crime with a gun.
Oh god. You know, if there's anybody we need to zap, it's the communists. Zap them all.
No. Conversion therapy doesn't work on communists.
Oh, so speaking of political
Who
shit,
said it was going to be conversion therapy? It's the equivalent of an ass whooping.
in
Give them
my
a little
state,
bit, they'll piss themselves, and then they'll learn to never do that again.
there's another ballot recount in Florida.
Oh, great.
Please tell me there's one in
Mhm.
Illinois. Please tell me there's one in Illinois. I don't like this communist being my fucking governor.
Well, here in Florida, if the ending percentages of approval is between 1/2 and I think it said 1 or 1/2 vote, it demands a recount. So I voted for Ted Yoho. I voted for Andrew Gillum for our governor, and we ended up officially. It said that we ended up with this other fucker, and the people, not the politicians or anything, the people are demanding a revote or a recount.
Nice. I hope they get a recount. And
Because they were literally off.
Here too.
There was literally it was off by 0.5% on the approvals.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah, we need some restrictions like this over here, man. Because I mean, all you really need to do in the state of Illinois to just fuck with the ballot box is go to the nearest dead body, pull out their ID, give it to your local DNC crony, and then you'll have an additional 10 votes just from that one body. And go to the next dead body, do the same thing, and then, yo, there's another 10. You know, they do that shit all the fucking time. Like, literally, our fucking new comrade-in-chief, J.D. Pritzker. I bet your sorry ass that Soviet son of a bitch, that fat bastard in a little suit, had his cronies do the same fucking shit. Just go harvest the fucking bodies and the people that are already fucking dead. Just go yoink, yoink, yoink. Here we go.
All right, babe, it's 12:17. What are you doing?
Give it a few more minutes. I'm sure Scoob's coming in the door any minute now. Because I definitely want to hear the rest of that story where the judge puts his foot up that guy's ass for selling shitty coffee. There's got to be another Scoobie story that's almost as good as that, because that's fucking awesome.
On that same Twitter thing that I was talking about earlier, the Idle Archer says maybe the NRA should allow Congress to pass a law requiring all U.S. flags to permanently fly at half-staff for efficiency's sake. Call it the Flag Raiser Rotator Cuff Protection Act.
Yeah, speaking of Florida, isn't that where they're trying to get that one woman Brenda Snipes or whatever, like they're trying to get her removed with her big six
I don't really pay attention to this shit.
I said, man, 'cause I saw something about that, and I'm just looking at this woman. I'm like, damn.
What's her name?
Brenda Snipes or whatever. Like, damn, like talk about a 4-head shit. That woman got a 6-head. I mean, goddamn, boy, that shit is. Ooh.
The fuck?
Oh, you mean Brenda Snipes? Office mixed bad provisional ballots with good ones.
Mm-hmm.
And she is the supervisor for Broward County of Elections.
Yeah. They showed a picture of her, and I'm like, God damn.
Bitch don't even know how to style her hair.
That's what I said. She ain't got a 4-head. She got a 6-head.
Here, I'll let y'all see what she looks like. There you go.
Wow.
This is when she was younger.
Wow.
But that ain't the current one though.
No.
the way they show, with she and all that red. Oh my god. I mean, that stuff was just
wow.
like that.
It looks like she has insulation just perched on the top of her head.
Told you the Crypt Keeper was black.
Whoa.
I can do that.
She looks like a chia
Oh my
pet.
god. Hold that picture there. Hold that one.
Are you about to see
like the Crypt Keeper, dude? Pat, you weren't shitting.
Why do I get the feeling Burnside's about to make a meme?
Yeah.
That woman's hair looks fake.
Hello, boils and ghouls.
Like how? I didn't know women could have receding hairlines like that.
Oh yeah.
Nay.
Believe it or not, I actually have a receding hairline. It just hasn't started. It's
well,
because
hell,
my daddy decided
when you that ugly hair shit, would you want your hair like shit? The hair trying to get away from that face.
What I can't get over is the type of earrings she wears. Look at how her ears
They're
droop.
too heavy. She doesn't have the right earlobes for something like that. Wow.
Look at that dweeb in the corner.
Maybe she should get some of them gauges.
Buy this woman a hat.
Oh god! Look at that reporter trying to hold the straight face while she's staring at her fucking hair.
Because I know she's staring. I know she's staring at that 6-head right there. Shit. I'm like, Jesus.
She's
like,
about an
Jesus
eighth
Christ.
of an inch. She's about an eighth of an inch away from Bozo the Clown.
Oh, man, that's...
And I know somebody had to told her, like, girl, you do something, get a weave or something like
Oh my god.
At least wear like a scarf or a bandana. Goodness.
I'm saying a wig is I know some of the kinfolks had to told or something like, girl, you need to do something about that hair.
It looks like her hair is trying to sneak off her head.
Yeah.
And you can tell it, in her younger pictures, it's not as bad. Not as bad.
It's just trying to get farther and farther away from her mouth because it doesn't want to hear that shit anymore.
Irving,
there's protests going on.
Fist bump there, buddy.
Nice.
I'm gonna give you a fist bump. Where's my thingy?
I'm glad they're protesting her and her shitty hair.
There you go, fist bump. Fist bump for Irving.
Here you go. Here's a nice close up.
Oh, that's fuckly looking.
You can still.
There's a drawing.
Oh,
Go back to that picture before. I want to point something out. See your earlobes? They
Yep.
still they're being pulled down by something.
Yep, that's because she's worn too heavy of earrings for way too long. They're permanently elongated.
Yeah, it looks like she's
Now,
had
who wants to
surgery
see the
repair
real Crypt
gauges.
Keeper?
Yeah, no, this cartoon is fantastic. It's like exactly like her.
it literally
This is like
Crypt Keeper, man.
you know those the Grand Theft Auto game covers?
Yes.
She looks like one of the cells in a GTA game cover.
That'd be on GTA 6 right there.
There you go.
Oh god. Oh, that's funny. Brenda Snipes, GTA 6.
I mean, she might as well shave her head and put on a wig because I can see the rest of her fucking skull. The Crypt Keeper's sexier.
Oh, damn. Yeah, let me actually do a comparison while we're going on this. Let me go find a picture of the Crypt Keeper.
I'll pull up a picture of the Crypt Keeper.
What you got? You got one of Brenda Snipes. We got to do this in real time, man.
Fine. Hurry up.
The Crypt Keeper. There we go.
Google a picture of the actor who do voice the Crypt Keeper. You're going to see an interesting parallel.
Yeah, he looks just like him.
Jesus. Meanwhile, Rich and his alter ego are shitting up the chat pretty good. Women are property. Fuck.
Okay, hold on, I found it.
I am no one's property.
Alright, let me find the green button. Alright, you're talking about this one, right? This dude over here, is that the dude that did the voice for the Crypt Keeper over here?
John Kassir?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Check out his hairline.
I don't know. I think Snipes might have less of a hairline than he does, man, and he looks like he's got some layers of hair.
Oh yeah, she got him by at least 2 fingers.
Oh man.
Yeah. And damn, I can put my hand in. I can put both my hands on her damn hairline, and I got big ass hands. I'm like, shit.
You could put your entire hand on her forehead, and there would still be more forehead.
That's what I'm saying. Be more. I'm saying I can put both hands and shit like you. Goddamn, girl, your shit just gone way back there.
Like I said, she needs to just go ahead and. I already took you out. I told you no. No.
Talking to the dog?
Yeah. I'm having to refresh YouTube. The computer's being slow. I mean, last National Libertarian and Nano Reaper were making fun of it, making fucking didgeridoo sounds.
Whoa.
Irving was there for that, and he's like, Jesus Christ.
Well, you had Pox, you had Nano, and you had National Libertarian all in one stream. What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah, Pox is sitting there saying at the end of the night, because I gave him a chance to show, he goes, beware the people that sound like didgeridoos. Holy shit.
Okay, I found a real good one of the Crypt Keeper here. I'm going to see who's got a better hairline here.
Alright.
Damn it. Green button. There we go. Good green. Alright, here we go.
Oh, Jesus.
See, at least the Crypt Keeper got his shit slicked back and it's all in line and stuff like that. Her shit is every goddamn well. except
Did you
where it's
stop
supposed to
presenting
be.
me?
See, he got it. See the Crip Kid. He got his shit permed.
There we go. I stopped presenting you. Sorry about that.
It's all right.
There we
Whoa.
go.
Because I keep trying to go and see the comparison.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I must have pushed the wrong button. Do we got it working now?
He still has more hair than.
Again, the Crypt
That's what I'm
Keeper's
saying. You
sexier.
know, and it's slick back. It's slick back. It's all nice and permed, while her shit is sticking in every goddamn direction and shit.
She stuck her finger in. Guaranteed, she went and sat on Old Sparky.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like she was around when it was made.
No, see, that's the hairstyle. That's the hairstyle you get when you just wake up. I'm saying you look in the mirror and say, "Fuck it, I ain't combing this."
She's afraid to. It'll fall out.
Yeah. Because you know that's thin shit.
Oh,
And again, this was her years ago.
It's like before and after she got in a fight with a toaster with a metal fork.
I said, well, corruption is a motherfucker.
Here's the actual picture that cartoon was made from.
Oh, fuck. Now you got to get the
Like, what's she holding? The check?
and see which one looks better.
She's holding a ballot.
Really?
Yeah, that's our ballots. It's folded in half.
Yeah, she got to look on her. All right, who voted Republican?
See?
Wow, Rich and his counterpart are really fucking doing some goofy shit. Just look at check.
Oh, look, she ain't playing that. Oldie don't play that. Someone's talking and she's just looking like, shut the fuck up.
Too funny.
She's giving the evil eye to Donald Trump. He wants to grab her by the pussy.
I'm afraid if he does, that thing will fall to ash in his hands, man.
Have you seen her fingers?
Yeah, here's her fingers.
Oh no. They're like little hobbit hands.
She's a hobbit, Harry.
No, but like I said, there's the one right there, that signed petition Congress one right there. Like I said, I'm saying that's the one with the I'm saying with shit. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shit, that you can put. I know you can put about a good 6 or 7 fingers on that damn thing right there.
Oh, that's funny. Shit.
And most of the time her hair looks like she's wearing a wig.
She needs to wear one that day.
That's funny.
I found a picture of her.
There you go.
Oh my god. Look at that shit. Fucking damn, that is hideous. God, that woman needs to go bald or something.
I'm saying she
got
needs
that
to
missing
shave
link
it.
hairstyle.
This woman reminds me of something. What could be? Oh yeah, it's this.
Bilbo Baggins.
Oh god.
I had to go look.
Oh my gosh.
Here's more of the protest pictures.
Fucking Bilbo Baggins has better hair than her. That's pretty fucked up. Oh, shit. That's fun.
Fucking Golem has better hair than her.
Oh, let me go see.
The balance is my preciouses. Hello. Where's that picture? There's that picture.
Oh.
What picture are you looking for? Are you still on stream?
Uh-huh.
Oh, is there been one?
Nope.
He left.
He never came on.
Oh, is Scoobie on?
He went to go pick up the wife.
Oh.
The balance is my preciouses.
Has Cody been out yet?
Yes, he has.
I'm back. I'm eating something, so I don't want to chew in everyone's ear.
What?
Oh, all right.
I think I'm drunk.
Probably are. You've been drinking Fireball.
All right. I got a real
Did
treat.
Bobby ever come out of his room?
Here is something you will not often see.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, that's some creepy shit, ain't it?
Yeah.
Hey.
That's nearly as creepy as when he did, what was that, the...
Damn, is that Harry Potter after the magic is gone?
Back when he did Yo Gabba Gabba.
What they decided to do is they took the actor that played Frodo and they tried to turn him into Gollum. And I think they also gave him some meth to boot.
Yeah.
And you know what the funny thing is? I think even this poor bastard has better looking hair than fucking retard Snipes over there.
Burnside, I'm going to send you a video of Elijah Wood on Yo Gabba Gabba.
Oh, who?
So it was a kid's show.
Yeah, I've seen Yo Gabba Gabba.
And
look at that hairline there. Look at that receding son of a bitch.
The Puppet Master dance.
I barely even recognized them.
For your viewing pleasure later, Mr. Burnside.
All right, let me see this.
Oh, and I think I figured it out. Dickhead Art is Rich Ed Art's rapper alter ego. At least that's what it seems here in the chat.
Oh, Christ.
Oh my gosh. Are you watching it right now?
Looking at Rich. So I was like, wait, he's doing what now? Wait, what the fuck type of crackhead shit did you send me? What the fuck is this? What the fuck? Okay. It's fucking Frodo. Oh god. What the fuck?
Anyhow.
Christ.
You're actually watching it, aren't you?
Yes, I was watching and then it screamed at me and then I went, what the fuck? Just like, what the fuck is this?
That's what Frodo does when he's not doing Hobbit movies.
Oh, fuck. Kids watch this shit?
Yes, I do. Well, it's been edited to have that little bit in there, but it's essentially that. Dancey dance time. If anybody, does anybody else want to watch this video? I'll throw it inside chat.
Being quasi-homosexual and somehow saving the world, he's dancing around with a bunch of crack addicts in mascot suits on a children's TV show. That's lovely. Oh God!
I don't know. Like I said, now I give Yo Gabba Gab his prop. It was entertaining to me, at least. You know.
How many drugs did you do?
What? And then now, like I said, you know what? Hell, the young kids liked it, so I'm like, hey, you know, I'm saying if they liked it and they kept them sat down and like, you know, not doing crazy stuff right there, you know, I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was until they fucked around. They put Sarah Silverman on that motherfucker. I'm like, yo, yeah, now y'all really fucked up. Y'all put her crackheaded ass on them.
Yeah. I hate Sarah Silverman.
Oh my God, I can't stand that bitch with a passion.
She's
You know, the only
air.
When I was a kid, the only time I got to watch Sesame Street was during mealtime because when I wasn't eating something, if I wasn't in school, I was doing chores.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. These kids have something I never had when I was a kid. Free time. That's the problem.
Yeah. Too much free time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I see all these little bastards running around. Like, I don't know if you guys seen it because I don't know if it got national attention. Like, if it is, let me just apologize for you having to see it. They showed upstate from me, a couple hours away from me, New Paltz, and they showed Antifa. They were protesting because these people, they were immigrants here from Italy. The kid was a veteran, and they painted an American flag on the side of their pizzeria. And they showed these spoiled little mutants out in the street just protesting because that flag is up on that wall. And I'm looking at them, and you know what? I understand they got this whole body positivity movement. People are going to yell shame at me and everything, but I can honestly say they can all go shit in their hat. These were some of the ugliest fucking people I ever seen. My God. It was like watching one of those bad movies where all the gargoyles came to life off the side of a church, but instead of attacking the villages, they picked up protest signs.
That's what I said. And that's what it is, though. I'm saying those are the ones that who have way too much time on their goddamn hand. That's all they can do is just go out there and just whine, bitch, and complain about bullshit. That ain't even a damn problem. They just do it just to be fucking with folk. That's what I said. I can't mess with these folks right here because I already know I'll knock them smooth the fuck out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know what would solve 3/4 of Antifa overnight?
A carpet bomb?
Jobs.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's all it is. A bunch of but a bunch of unemployed bums.
Mm-hmm.
Also, a carpet bomb works.
Yeah.
Or a bunch of One Punch Man, like that one dude that knocked that one. Woo, I love that.
Yeah,
I watch that shit every chance I get, man.
Yeah. Gotta love the Proud Boys, man. Clocking commies left and right.
He knocked that dude, and the dude had a fucking baton, man. Yeah. Swung it on him twice, man. Dude ducked there, shit. That damn right came around, click, click. That's it. He's out.
Boom.
And that's what I'm saying, you know. For as much shit as Antifa talks, man, can't none of them bastards fight.
Nope, not a single one.
Even when it's 7-on-1, man, they still can't goddamn do shit. It's like, like in Berkeley, man, they outnumber the Trump supporters like what, 2-1? Still got their ass for.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is? It don't matter with those numbers because even if they got like those 20, 30 people, like you said, none of those heads in that group can fight. So even though they had them outnumbered 2-1, it's still two people that are getting knocked the fuck over by that one guy each time.
Yeah.
And That's the thing. Like, let's say they had like 400 against 200. At the end of the day, you know, there's about maybe 200 left on the floor and another 200 hightailing it because the 200 they were up against is mowed through the first few people they hit and is now chasing the ones that are hightailing it the other way. You've seen that footage the same as me. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what it is, you know, and that's all. And they got a mouth, and they're so used to people like, you know, they shut off their mouth, and they're used to people like using their morals and principles. Like, you know what, I'm just gonna back up and all this right here because the reason why we choose our morals and principles over, I'm saying, when it comes to these motherfuckers right here, because we know we can beat their ass. We know, like I'm saying, you know, if you press that damn button, I could easily knock all 10 of you motherfuckers out. But I'm saying right here because it ain't worth it. Because what's the first thing they're gonna do? You're gonna go bark to the nearest highest authority, and then I'm going to get in trouble and stuff like that. Even though you jackasses are right here starting it, picking and bullying and all this right here. And I know I can beat all 10 of y'all asses, but I'm just like, you know what, quit it. And they know that right there, but they keep picking and picking until one day, you know, now I'm saying the people they're picking at gonna snap, and that's what happened. You get the battle at Berkeley. You get that one punch motherfucker right there, and they know they can't. They know they can't take it. You know, that's why I say, you know, if the side that they ever pick with, man, ever just says, you know what, fuck it. Well, I'm saying, you know, hit the green light. Let's beat all these people's asses. They know they'll get stoned. And I'm just saying, it's like they don't let that thought right there kick in their mind that, you know, like, what if one day they actually do that, man? Like, you know, we be talking this shit and they just said, oh, okay, let's do it, let's fight. It never goes through their head because they expect our morals and principles to always, you know, reign supreme, which they usually do.
But they teach a lot of these kids too that,
like, they think government's going to protect them from us.
well, they teach them that that they got a shield to them also. Like they teach them that because of you say X, Y, or Z to them, that it's going to magically disarm them. Like a lot of the shit that, you know, we laugh and we joke when we see the shit that they pass around as propaganda because of how it almost looks cartoonish. Their grasp on reality, a lot of these fucking Nimrod kids, when you talk to them, they really do believe like words have power. So if they sit there and yell shame at you enough, a group of them, or call you racist, or call you bigot, or call you this, or call you that, that you're not going to be able to haul off and knock their teeth the fuck out their mouth. You know, this is they actually operate under this auspice that they're not going to get stomped down. You know, they and it's, I really hate seeing it. You see this shit happen a lot. Like, you don't get the coverage of it, of course, because, you know, especially because if it's not like right wingers, if they just decide to fuck with the wrong people. Like, I see so many bars around here. You see these kids get the shit beat out of them. The news never comes. They don't care. They don't give a flying fuck when a couple of blue collar guys beat the shit out of a couple of college kids, unless it's got a political spin. That's the thing. I see Antifa getting their shit kicked in constantly around here, but they're not rocking their colors, and they're not going after veterans with American flags. They just decided that they're going to fuck with some guy at the bar because, oh, well, you're wearing that shirt, you support the president. Well, I happen to support Antifa. Meanwhile, this guy doesn't realize he just picked a fight with SEAL Team 6 and they're off duty. You know? Oh, you see that a lot, man. You see a lot of guys when they rotate back to back to this part of the world, they like to go out to the bars around here and everything. And like, you know as well as I do, down in Texas, you know, you go to a nice hopping scene, you're gonna have servicemen that just came back to to the country. They want to go out, so they're gonna go to the nicest bars in town. And who's
Especially
the first
if
people
they're
that
single.
and who's the first people that these moron college kids have the fucking bad luck of picking a fight with? You know, you're picking a fight with a guy whose call sign is like Mjolnir, like Thor's hammer. He's got a fucking tattoo of a lightning bolt across one of his hands. Yeah, that's a really smart thing.
Hey, Burnside, share my thing.
Let me see here.
Yeah.
Presenting. That's about right.
Yeah. That's about right. Whoa.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh! Hit the wrong
Hi.
button.
There I am again. Like really close up though.
Oh!
Oh,
You know,
boy.
it's funny. They actually have one of those one of the colleges on Long Island out east in Suffolk County is right over by Calverton. Calverton is where all the military is. It's where the funeral, where they have all the military funerals, and it's where the cemetery is, and it's also where they have the ranges. You know, so everyone goes out there with their rifles and all sorts of shit to shoot them. And I had saw this once, and these moron kids decided they were going to fuck with some veterans out in that area, and they were doing that shit. You know, like
Oh, fuck.
they're doing that shit when they're going like shame, 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 and so like a bunch of guys, I guess they just came back from the range and they rolled up on them. There was like maybe about 8 of these kids, and there was only like 3 or 4 of these guys. I'm guessing they were vets. They roll up on these kids and they're cracking their knuckles and they're like, pain, 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 and these kids just dispersed the minute they started doing that to them.
Oh, my God.
I love that.
Oh, I need to make that one now. Oh, my
And
God.
then, like, like remember a couple of years ago, man, when anti-Trump protesters ran
You are roboting so hard.
Whoa,
Shit.
whoa.
You went ultra. You went fucking.
You went.
Goddamn cyborg, dude.
Oh damn.
Hey guys.
I'm now.
I gotta jump, man. I've been up since 5 a.m. So.
All right, get some sleep, brother.
It was good to have you on, 6.
Yeah. It was good to see everybody. Good to see you, Pat. Good to see you, Irving. Good to see Scoob. Glad you're feeling better, man.
A little bit, but thank you.
Wow, it's been a day.
Yeah.
See y'all later.
Yep, get some sleep, bro.
Take it easy.
All right. With this internet acting the way it is, and I'm not surprised I went robot there.
Just hit it with a baseball bat. That ought to fix it.
Yeah, but what I was saying is like,
Sweetie,
you know,
that only fixes commies, not computers.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, what I was trying to say is like, remember like a couple of years ago when them anti-Trump protesters ran up on that bar full of Marines.
What?
I think it was in Florida. Like it happened a couple of years ago. I think that's what it was. Like, you know, like this is when Trump like recently got elected, and of course, you know, you get all these college kids and stuff like that. You know, like, you know, not my president, and all that stuff right here. And according to the story or whatever, like, you know, there was this group of Marines and all that right there. You know, they were off duty and they were just over there just having a good time and all this stuff. And protests came, you know, by the pub and all that right there. So all of them basically came out, you know, like the Marines came out, you know, saw what they were doing and all that right there. So they started, you know, started protesting back, you know, started showing us support for the president and all that right there. So, you know, these little punk ass SJW and shit like that, they're gonna start, you know, doing all their chants and all that right there. So of course, you know, hell shit, you know, these Marines, you know, they already got some alcohol in their system and shit like that. So it was like, so what happened was somebody ended up calling the police, and the police came, you know, and like you know, like got between them and all that right there. And all I know is when I'm right here watching this whole entire thing, I'm just thinking like, I just hope that one of these goddamn little kids hit one of these goddamn Marines. Because if they did, doesn't matter if the police there, they are not going to be able to stop these motherfuckers. They're going to run through the police and those goddamn kids.
Yeah,
but what happened was like, you know, they just sat up there, you know, like, you know, the kids sat up there, barked a little bit, you know, all right there. But eventually, shit, they ran the fuck over because they already know, like, hey, you do not want to fuck with them goddamn. You may can bark at this person and that person, but you do not want to fuck with no military servicemen.
Marines are trained for one good task.
Killing. Ass whooping. Shit.
Yeah. Oh.
And them kids knew that, because I think it's like what? I forgot how many it was, but it's like I think what it was like the little SJW protest was like I think it was what twice as big as they was, but shit, like doesn't matter what. Like I said, it could have been 10 of them and 200 of them and stuff like that. The Marines were gonna fuck them kids up if they would have put their hands on.
Dude, Pat, I bet you those guys could probably at least bench 10 of those guys.
I'm saying shit. And most of these kids most of them motherfuckers was like transgenders too. So I'm like, oh yeah, y'all had no chance. If y'all would have touched them goddamn military servicemen, y'all would have went home.
Oh yeah, they just fresh like fucking hot hands, man. Just crunch Pepsi.
And I saw the video right there, and I'm just right there. Go on, touch them. Oh, I want y'all to touch them so they can beat y'all ass.
You know, one of the things we used to do when I was younger, for fun, we would go and you'd watch and you'd hang out down by the South Street Seaport, and you'd see the sailors come in from all over the different world, different parts of the world, and they're going out and they're in their full uniform, and these are guys in they're wearing sailor suits. Now, I don't know about the rest of the country, and I don't know about you up there in Canada, but I remember like a lot of folks, they always had an opinion. I remember it was a joke when I was a kid. Look at the guy wearing a sailor suit. I've seen these guys tear somebody apart. Especially, oh my God, the last time I was up over on the South Street Seaport. These guys were just coming back in. They were Norwegian sailors, and they had on the full outfit with the bell bottoms, and they had the Donald Duck hat and everything. And one of the guys I was with was a bit of a meathead, and he started saying something. And the other guy we were with, he was from Poland, and he turned and he looked at me, and goes, "Are you out of your mind? He will fuck you up." Like the guy. And my friend's looking at me. I'm like, bro, there's a reason they put those sailors in those goofy ass outfits. It's so you actually decide to test their metal. Like, seriously, you don't want to fuck with somebody in a sailor suit. That's just, if you're in a bar and a guy comes in dressed like a sailor and it's not Halloween, do yourself a favor, buy that man a drink.
Yep.
Seriously, because that's the guy you want on your side when the bottles start flying.
Oh yeah.
Believe me, take it as somebody whose father was ex-Navy, and I grew up around folks like this, and let me tell you, they come out and they're wearing their full regalia. Like if that's for any serviceman, if they're out there and they're wearing their service uniform and they're in a bar drinking and they're in uniform, yeah, you got somebody there that doesn't give a fuck, and more likely than not, they're gonna hurt you. For any of the younger people out there listening, take it from somebody who worked the door for many a year. Yeah, they come in their fatigues and they got a fucking flag on their shoulder. Don't pick a fight with them. What the hell's the matter with you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Unless you got a fetish for being crushed like a pop can and kicked down the street.
Yeah.
Soda.
I do not call it a soda.
That's too funny. Like that's actually like that is a problem that we get like when we move from here to like different parts of the country. Like my sister got into an argument with somebody in Colorado because they're sitting there. They're like, she's like, "What aisle's your soda?" And they're like, "What the fuck is soda?" And she's and they're like, "Oh, you mean pop?" She's like, "What the hell is pop?"
You ain't from around here, are you?
And when my boy went to Seattle, he was in Seattle for a minute, and he goes into his store, and the guy goes like this to him. He goes, "You want a sack?" Like when he bought his shit, and the guy looks at, and my boy looks at him. He goes, "A sack?" He's like, "Yeah, how much you got on you? What's the count?" He goes, "Huh?" He goes, "Yeah, how much for the sack, man?" He's like, No. And he goes to hand him a plastic bag. He goes, "Oh, you mean a bag?" He's like, "I thought you meant you had reefer." He's like, "Oh, you mean you thought I had a bag?" So they were talking. Apparently on the West Coast, like people over here, they refer to it as like getting a sack, and people on the West Coast, they refer to it as getting a bag, which I thought was funny. So it's like the reverse.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the funny thing is, when I
God,
was
that is so stupid.
This stoner shit.
Oh my God, that's funny. Oh.
Yeah. It's the little things you notice.
Yeah. I literally had the same shit happen when I used to be out in the middle of fucking nowhere where my own dad lived. Because over at every fucking store in that, they go, y'all want me to sack your groceries? And I'm just thinking to myself, what, you're going to take my shit? What they mean is they're going to bag up your groceries for you.
Yeah.
Fucking hillbillies. Like, I'm sitting there at the fucking Family Dollar and the fucking, whatever they have out there, the fucking Hillride grocery store. I'm thinking to myself, and I'm just like, "What? You're gonna sack my shit? I just paid for it, you fucker." Oh, hillbillies, they're funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I get a little kick out of things like people would tell my father, you know, like, yeah, why don't you give it a whack? And he'd give him a look when they would say that to him. And I'd explain, you know, that he means give it a try. Because, like, you know, in other words, like, he was asking, he thought for a minute that the guy was asking him, you know, why don't you kill the thing?
Like, no, not that type of whack.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he's like for a split second. Like when the guy told him that, he said, because he thought, you know, like he said, like my brother said, he's like, you know, your father's got that real problem. He thinks everyone's trying to ridicule him.
Fucking hell.
Well, it's the little things, and you know, it's the little things that you notice in life that make it fun.
Oh, that's funny.
You know, with this Antifa though, like I'm thinking about it more and more with these kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is
Need
the
their
thing.
asses beat?
Yeah, I mean, not just that they need their asses beat. I mean, at this point, with a lot of them, it's got to be obvious they got to be getting paid.
Well, here's the theory: is only a handful of organizers are getting paid, and they just manipulate the stupid people into doing the stupid drugs because they have no lives, right? They've literally got no meaning in their lives, and somebody offers them a chance to have something meaningful, being this kind of activism, even though they're completely wrong. It doesn't matter. They're getting that sense of fulfillment out of it, and it's terribly sad.
Oh,
You know,
so horribly depressing.
Basically,
you know,
they all need Jordan Peterson.
Well, they're getting that sense of camaraderie because none of them have fucking friends.
Yeah.
And the people
You
who
know,
are manipulating them are just banking like a motherfucker.
Oh, hell yeah.
you know, I'll be honest. I lived on a hippie commune. I dated many a dreadlocked chick. Christ, I was a snowboarder for how many years? And I worked at the beach. I mean, if anyone was, you know, basically could have been considered a leftist at one point, it probably would have been me. But the thing is this. One, I was never hateful, and two, hippies were never militant lunatics when I was around them. That's the thing. They were never like this bad. If anything, most of the hippies that I dealt with were the type that, yeah, they'll pick up a rifle to defend the country, of course, but they're more interested in, you know, trying to get laid. They're more interested in, you know, trying to like brew their own absinthe or like, you know, make psychedelic brownies or shit, you know. They weren't interested in any of this crazy shit. I mean, we were interested in the environment. Yeah, but we weren't going to sit there and like these are the same radicals that, you know, like you've seen during the 60s. It wasn't like that in the 90s. There was no radicals. We wouldn't allow the radicals around. Everything was a lot more moderate. Like, that's the thing. Like, we were all moderates back in the day. I was a member of the EPA. I was a member of Greenpeace. I was a member of PETA. I still have my membership cards around here somewhere. You know, I was one of those people that used to go to your house with the fucking stupid green T-shirt and the yellow clipboard with a recycle symbol on the back of it, asking you to make a donation to EPA. And oh, by the way, would you like to vote for Al Gore? You know, and like that was the thing when I was younger. And like it wasn't. It started to turn bad after Bush won. That's when they really turned on the Republicans. Like before that, no one really. I mean, they had their jokes about the Republicans and shit, but it was all in jest because it was one of those things where, you know, the Republicans were known for being a bunch of stodgy old fucks who had money because they all fought in like the wars and worried about their families and did investments and shit. They did things the right way. The point was, it was a known fact and it was lampooned openly. The Republican way was the right way. The Democrats were just having more fun. And they were just trying to make it where they were elevating everybody, I guess, which was really weird. It was like they were trying to elevate everybody to get to the level where they could become Republicans. That was really what it seemed like. Like, it was just like, you know, yeah, you can hang with us and you can be cool, but eventually, once you have kids, you got to become a Republican. It was literally like the way it was catered to us. So, well, that's what happens. The Democrats, I don't think, realize when they set themselves up as the party of youth. If you have no fucking Peter Pan formula to hand out to your voters, when you convince them that once you hit a certain age they're going to become Republicans, guess what's going to happen to Generation X and Generation Y when they hit that golden age? They're going to become Republicans. And you see, unfortunately for them, they decided they were going to start with these fucking millennials as fast as they could, but they turned the indoctrination up fast in the second half of Obama's fucking tenure. Once they had California and they had New York under lock with their governorships, that's when they started this propaganda nonsense and they started trying to do the shit with the guns and they started to do their big reach. That's when all this shit started to go nuts. I thank God for the election in 2016. I thought I was the only one noticing this shit other than Alex Jones. I thought I was a fucking tinfoil hat wearing lunatic. Because I tell people
10% there, man.
Yeah. Well, this was the thing. I was telling people this. I was talking to people about shit, and everyone I would talk to was like, "You got to see this guy's videos," and they started showing me Alex Jones videos. And you know, I hate saying it, and I apologize for everyone I'm going to offend when I say this. And Pat hopped out. I'll say it to him when he gets back. But
he probably fell out.
All right, yeah, it was probably. I hate saying this, but it was that heavy ass Texas accent. I couldn't listen to him for too long, Alex Jones. You know, because I hate saying it as a New Yorker, you hear the Texas accent, the first thing you think of is the guy in the old silver trailer from the 50s in the middle of the desert with a giant antenna in the backyard that there's no one around for 100 miles in any direction, and he's broadcasting alone. That's really like what like if you ever seen the opening to Joe Bob Briggs Drive-In Theater, that's basically what I had the vision in the back of my head of Alex Jones' studio being like, especially when you see his old original tapes. I really figured this guy was in like some desert bordering Wyoming, like in the friggin' ass end of Texas, where there was no one around but tumbleweeds and coyotes and shit. So I really wasn't going to take too much of what he was saying with a grain of salt. I figured this was a guy that was chased out of communities, and he was living where they filmed Ghost Rider. That's just that was the impression I had of Alex Jones. Nothing against the man. It was just when I first started seeing his footage, and I seen this low budget studio, and I seen him screaming and yelling and ranting and raving and screaming about gay frogs and everything. You know,
He was right.
It was real. Yeah, it was presented to me where it was really hard for me to not so much take him seriously, but my fear was that if I tried to tell people like the fears that I had, I was going to get regulated to be where I was going to be put in that category, like him. And that was a really big fear I had. Then I watched the Democratic National Convention in 2016 and said, holy shit, okay, I'm not paranoid. These people really are like a psychotic cult. That looked like a Nuremberg rally. Did you remember? Did you watch the Democratic National Convention in 2016? Any of you?
I watched a little bit.
Yes.
Scared the shit out of me. That was like watching a Nazi rally. It really was. Like the Republicans.
I gotta go to bed.
All right.
We'll wrap it up in a couple minutes.
All right. I love you, babe. I'll talk to you later. Night, boys.
Night, Tara.
Talk to you tomorrow, dear.
You better. I'm gonna jump your ass
I know you will.
with a dildo.
Bullshit.
Yep.
I'm gonna beat you with it, and I will beat you in all. Damn it, she left. I was gonna beat her in all the ways she enjoys. As you were saying, great Soviet Nazi propaganda at the DNC. Nothing new here.
Oh no! I mean, like, no, this was all new. I mean, like, do you remember it's like his most famous rally he had at Nuremberg, Hitler, the one where they were all doing the torches with the SWAT stickers and that sort of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it degenerated into shit like that when they turned on Bernie Sanders and all his supporters like marched out and they're walking down the street with Jill Stein and they're having a riot in the streets of Philadelphia and cars are getting flipped and burned and shit.
Yep.
And I was telling my wife when we were watching it, I said, this scene right now with Jill Stein, I said, somebody, if they have any brains in their head, and I hope somebody hears this and takes me up on this idea, anyone worth their salt should take like the pictures of her walking around with the megaphone with her fist raised in the air with the flames arching and the cars flipped over and the people running around, hopping around like chimps and shit. Someone should make a wood carving of that. Like, you remember like during the Revolutionary era, like when they showed like all the shit that was going on during the Revolutionary War?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like what's going on now. I'd honestly like somebody to recreate some of these pictures in wood carving.
That would be really neat.
Yeah, it really would. It's a lost art. It's an American art. And not that it's obviously not an original American art, but it's one of those few arts we have brought over from wherever and we kept here, such as silversmithing and engraving. People still do it. I would really like to see somebody do a wood engraving of the 2016 election. Like a whole series. I think that would actually be really well done and hopefully well received.
You know, one thing that can be done is if you actually get one of those, you get a good chunk of wood, and you get one of those laser cutters. You should actually set that thing up to actually make it where it can actually burn that design straight into it.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about, but I mean, there are still artisans who can make it by hand. Why not use them? You know, like I was having this conversation with Porpoiseful probably about 2 or 3 months ago, and we're talking, and he had on a few of his. He's kind of like Socrates. He has on like these young underlings of his little minions, and he sits there and he espouses to them. So he had on all these kids, and we're talking, and all these kids are naturally they're all commies and socialists and whatever other plethora of economic tomfoolery they dip into. So we're talking, and we were talking about Star Trek and how it was a communist utopian fantasy, and I dismantled that in 2 seconds, which was not that fucking hard. And I'll do it really quick right now. I don't want to leave anyone with bated breath. Really quick way you can diffuse everything with it. Star Trek is not post-capitalist communist utopia. It's post-currency capitalist utopia. That's all it is. There's no currency. Everything's digitized. You can see actually the stepping stones for this was shown in the Minority Report, where they were using the eyes. Everything's currency free. So there you go. We've just moved beyond it. You couldn't do that with communism because, come on, communism only works if you're a carpenter ant. So we were talking about that, and we dismantled the whole communism Star Trek thing. But we were talking, about automation in general. And these kids are going on about how automation is going to free up people to do more things. They said they're talking about how you're going to have to live in, I forget what the term of it is, but it's when everything's automated and people don't have to do shit anymore. Oh, God, I can't remember the term. It's some big annoying long term.
Is it also a society in which the government is mostly run through new generation technological means.
Yeah.
It's technocracy.
No, not just the technocracy. It's something else. There's another term for it. It's related to it. Sargon did a video about how the world the predators live in are actually a model of this. Somebody had posted it to him. I had actually postulated the idea to Liberal Sanity Project in Weibo server in her philosophy channel.
Mhm.
If you want to take a look at that, or either of you actually want to take a look at that in Weibo server, I posted in philosophy. I never got a chance to follow up with Liberal Sanity Project on it, but I did actually want to talk to him about it and possibly go into a video with it about it with him. But what was I saying? Well, I had told these kids anyway in Porpoiseful's channel is you think about it. If you get like an automated society, which is what we have, and they say we're just going to go further into automation, all automation has given you on hand is like, let's say, IKEA furniture.
Mm-hmm.
This has not made people who make furniture go away. You can still get an artisan table, one of the ones where the feet of the table look like a lion or an eagle's claw clasping a globe, and there's that paw, and then the leg of the table has a snake wrapping around it, going all the way up, and the snake is like a cobra, and the cobra's head flattens, and it's the four cobras of each leg, and their hoods make up the base, and it holds up the top of the table, and the table is made out of glass. You're not going to get that in IKEA. You can get something like that, though, like let's say something like Huffman Coos out by me, or one of these other places. Now, just because you have the automated option like IKEA does not mean people are not going to want to pay extra for the handcrafted automated piece. Nor does it mean that there are people that are not going to want to still make those things. Case in point, you've all seen a period piece movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that they train those people just for those movies to actually drive those buggies and carriages. And moreover, they have the buggies and carriages, and they have the period proper equipment and shoes and clothing and whatnot because they have actual cobblers and haberdashers and tailors and other people that they hire. It's just, and even though it's not in wide use anymore, there still are demands for these different trades. That's the point I was getting to, long story short. Just if we automate everything, you're still going to have certain things that are made by hand. You can use a Mr. Coffee. That doesn't mean you can't still go buy a percolator. You know?
Absolutely. I
Yeah,
mean, percolators, oh, those are tasty as fuck.
Well, that's my whole point, right? I mean, every one of us here, we could buy a Prius, or for the same amount of money, you can buy it and do a frame up redo and build yourself a 1967 Yanko Camaro. You could do that. You don't have to do the new option, is my point. That's why I was trying to tell them. Just because we're going towards full automation does not mean that people are not going to want to do things for the pleasure of it.
Right.
There are so many people that they show as millionaires. What are these millionaires doing? They're sitting there working in a wood shop, or they're making shit out of clay, or they're working leather, or they're building a boat. You never see a millionaire. Think about this. How many billionaires and millionaires do you guys see where they show them sitting on their ass watching the television, eating chips? You don't see that. You notice they're always climbing the fucking Matterhorn, or they're yachting, or they're doing shit like that.
Yeah, they're always doing something elaborate.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying is any person that's given the option, we're not immediately going to default to a lazy boy. We're not truly, we're not a default recliner society. That's something that's been pushed on us, on frankly North America in general in the past 30 years. Is this whole, well, you need to get a lazy boy or you're not a real man. Yeah, you know, you gotta sit on your ass and get landscaping. Who the fuck came up with this shit? Like, half of the stuff that they try to push now, nah. If they would have said that to me 10 years ago, I would have said the fuck out of here. No, I'm telling you, man. That's the thing. They're sitting here. They're trying to tell you that, well, my sitting on my ass and not doing anything, everything's going to be like this. Watch. Mark my words. By the time I'm 40, this is one of these younger people. By the time I'm 40, everyone's going to not have a job because it's all going to be automated. We're going to all be able to sit around and do whatever we want. It's going to be a rise of art. There's going to be a rise of poetry. They got this friggin' utopian friggin' thing that everyone's going to be running around wearing togas and we're going to have columns like ancient Greece again. Get the fuck out of here. It's not going to be like that.
Yeah, they're out of their damn minds.
You know what, Irv, you're a little older. You're closer to my age because Burnside's too young to remember this. But in the late 20th century, the biggest shtick was the year 2000. We were all going to have the white jumpsuits with the silver V across the chest, and we were all going to have the freaking flying cars, which you don't even need to use the flying cars because the sidewalks are going to move.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the sidewalks don't take you to your moon habitat, so you just drive the flying car there, right? Like,
yeah. Burnside, we're not fucking with you. This is actually what they sold to us.
So you're telling me that all of the McFly stuff and that from Back to the Future, people actually thought that was going to be legit?
Yeah. That was 100% legit. That's what everyone thought the year 2000 was going to be. If you watch, I let my nephew watch it with me because it came out, I think it came out on disc in like 2005. So I let the kid watch it with me. And we're watching the Transformers animated cartoon, and it's the beginning, and it's like, it is the year 2005. And like, he's watching it, and sure enough, there's this kid sitting there. He's wearing a fucking white jumpsuit with the silver V across his chest, and he gets on his hoverboard. And my nephew looks at me. He's like, "Oh, you got to be shitting me." I said, "No, this is what we were told the year 2005 was going to be like." We really were convinced it was going to be hologram. We were going to sit there and like, I was going to have like the controller, like the old-fashioned Atari controller, but it didn't matter how ghetto the controller looked because it's the two holographic creatures going to be fighting on the table, just like in Star Wars. You see, that was what it was going to be like. That's my whole point. Is I heard that when I was a kid, and these kids, they're talking to me with this. Yeah, that's the shit that they sold to us when we were younger. And I want now that sounds ridiculous, right? That sounds absurd. Yeah. That's legitimately what everyone thought that we were going to be dressed like in the future. Everyone thought. Jerry Seinfeld actually made a joke about it. He said, you know, after living through the 80s, he said, and it was in the 90s, he made the joke. He said, after living through the 80s and seeing how the 90s is going, he says, I can honestly see in the next few years how we're just going to say the hell with it. And we're just going to start wearing the jumpsuits with the silver V like we all said we were going to wear when we were kids anyway. He said, I see it coming. And everyone was going through it. This was the era of, you know, like people were going like talk to the hand and not. And I know you did, but what am I? Oh, this was all of those catchphrases. He said, you know, it's going to get to the point where everyone's going to get so annoyed with, you know, how people say ciao and arrivederci. We're just going to go up to each other and be like, acknowledge. He said, we're going to dress and act like Vulcans.
And acknowledge.
Yeah. And this is the crazy shit that these kids are trying to tell me is going to happen. And I'm trying to tell them, look, I've been hearing this since I was younger. They told us we were all going to be wearing, you know, like the white jumpsuits with the silver V's. There was going to be flying cars. We were going to have the movement. The shit you see in the airport, that was going to be all over the place. All the sidewalks were going to move. And for some reason, everyone, even the dogs, were going to have rings on their clothing. You know, like the rings, like Saturn rings, like in the Jetsons. This, yeah, this was what they had sold us. So I'm not going to sit here and let these kids sit there and tell me, oh, well, this is the utopia. This is the world that we're gonna make. And is it? No, you crazy fucks. You told me fucking 30 years ago that there was gonna be flying cars and everyone's gonna be dressed like Judy Jetson. No, I'm not taking these people at any of their crazy shit. We've been living. Our society has been automated. I mean, you look at when we were talking to Plain speech. Plain, that's what he does for a living. He automates shit. And the thing is, what he does where they're doing the automation is it's places, you know, people talk about, well, you know, you're taking away jobs and this, that, and the third. unfortunately, there are certain industries that it's just moved to the point where it's not fiscally viable to have a human being in that specific position. Oh, well, you did it. It's destroying the industry. Well, that industry has moved beyond that specific human component. That doesn't mean human beings aren't going to be involved in the process anymore. They've been phased out of that component. Think of it as like a Rube Goldberg machine to make coffee. Again, with the
Right.
coffee. We're going back to coffee here, but you got a Rube Goldberg machine to make coffee. We all get a good chuckle out of the guy's artwork, and it is ingenious. And it will theoretically work. If everything goes exactly like it's supposed to in the diagram, you'll get a cup of coffee at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can actually just use a coffee pot. Now, the point of what I'm saying is, by pushing against automation, you're pushing for the Rube Goldberg approach. By automating, you're streamlining the approach, making things more cost effective and efficient. And people say, well, you're removing the human being from the industry. And my thing is this: any industry, unless there has been like some radical shift in the past 10 years, almost any industry had some knowledge that this was coming down the pike, so they could have prepared accordingly for this shift. So it's not like you're trying to take their jobs away from them. As somebody whose father, grew up driving cement mixers, and one of the problems he was having was they changed the design and the layout of the cement mixers, and he particularly did not enjoy driving the newer mixers. And my brother had said, he's like, the old man is a dinosaur, and they're gonna phase him out. And I said, the fuck out of here. They ain't gonna phase Pop out. They ain't know what they're gonna phase him out. I mean, you can't phase somebody like that out. And he's like, hey, look, they're gonna phase him out because time marches on. And anything, any industry, it sucks. You don't want to see people lose jobs, and you don't want to see an industry go the way of the dinosaur. But this is what makes me progressive, and this is the part that I try to tell people. Time marches on, science marches on, industry marches on, and time waits for no man. That's what the whole point of being progressive is. It's not me sitting here saying, well, we have to do this. I'm one of the people who actually mourns the loss of these industries. Not like I enjoy seeing this shit go, It's just, it's what it is. It's what progress is. Things go and things come. Shit changes. Shit don't stagnate. That's one of the reasons I yell at these kids, because one of the constants we have is our Constitution, because it was designed to change and to be changeable. These morons want to change that. Hey, if you look deep in thought, what's happening?
I'm just listening, man. Like, and I mean, this idea that, oh no, they're losing the jobs and the people are going to be poor. If people are too poor to buy the product that's made by automation, the automation goes away.
Yeah.
Right. Like it has to balance itself out somehow. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and say this is the way to do it. Let's make a law, because that's not how the market works.
Yeah.
Right. Something to fill the need will be created by someone who's more intuitive than I am. Right.
Yeah.
They'll figure it out.
See, the problem is with these kids, they were raised under the dirtiest word on earth. They were raised under the word free. And these kids believe that such a word exists. This is the great con of our time, is this word free. There is nothing in life free. I would love to be the first one to tell you that there's such a thing as freedom, and freedom isn't free. We all know that rule, that little chestnut. And the reason freedom isn't free is because you have to actually put in work to stay free. You got to be vigilant. Got to use your brain. Got to stay on top of shit. That's why freedom isn't free. Everything has a cost.
Yeah, because freedom, man, if you let it slip from your fingers, you may never get it back. That's why you've got to fight for it. That's why you've got to work for it. That's why you have to do something to preserve it. Huh?
Yeah.
Like hell, growing up, I kind of gradually started figuring out that, the world was going to be like those, post-apoc 80s comic books and crazy shit like that. That was always my fucking fear for the future. I'm going to, wake up one day and it's going to be, some crazy shit like fucking Turok or some shit like that.
I told you we had somebody coming around, and it was when the governor was, he was pitching something, or somebody was running, or some shit. And they're like, yeah, Cuomo's going to give you free college. I said, yeah? Is he going to turn water into wine, too? You can't, there's no such thing as free.
Yeah.
It's dishonest. Like, one of those things, like, you use free because free originally was a word you would use because you were supposed to say back in the day, we'll cover the expense, or, complimentary.
Yeah.
Was the best way to do it. And the reason people started using free was complimentary was one of those things where, oh, well, they're just doing it to try to bait you in. And it was because of the word people had a problem with it. When people would say it was free and you pointed out, well, they're just doing it to bait you in, but who the fuck cares? It's free. You know what I'm saying? It's like they would get hung up on the word. The word itself is what was the deterrent. Like, nah, I'm not doing that shit. Complimentary. That means they're just doing it to try to get me in there. Then they turn around and they're like, yeah, and you come and do this and you get it for free. Oh fuck, I gotta do this. It's free.
Free shit. Very progressive.
Right? It's really it's such a great way to rope-a-dope a person is that word free. Oh yeah. Yeah. Not me, man. Like, oh, we're gonna give you free shit. Yeah, okay, let me see. This isn't free. I'm reading this now. It says here that there's a cost on the back end. Why is there a back end? If it's free, there's no front end, there's no back end. It's here you go, goodbye. That's it. That's what free means.
Yep.
If there's strings, it's not free. If there's paperwork, it's not free. Unless you're handing it to me, and the only paperwork that says is, okay, Scoobie owns this, so you can't arrest him. This proves this is his. That's the only paperwork that should be involved. Certificate of ownership. Otherwise, it's not free. Like the Excelsior program we got here in New York. It's how Governor Cuomo is paying for us. Oh yeah, we're going to college for free. You're not going to college for free. No, my taxes are paying for you, you little shitball. The fuck out of here.
Yeah, gotta love that. It's free because I'm not paying for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I always told these people that socialism requires capitalism to be okay with them taking their shit. That's the only way it fucking survives, is you have to have people who are okay with paying for their shit and someone else's shit. And 8 out of 10 times, usually when you run into somebody who has to pay for their own shit, they normally don't want to pay for someone else's shit either. I mean, too. English. Must speak better.
You were saying something, Irv?
Oh, no, that I had brought this up last night. I can't remember if it was your stream or my stream. But yeah, that I've got, I work with a bunch of younger people. They're in their early to late 20s, some of them. And a lot of them have student loans. And if the thing about, oh, yeah, no, free school or the government will pay off the loans, it's like, no, you don't want that. Because if you're having trouble paying off your own loan, how the fuck do you expect to pay off everybody else's? And they're like,
yep.
Oh, my God. You're right.
Yeah.
That shit.
Yeah. Like, when I heard, this is the thing. When I heard Obama giving that speech and he turns around and he's like, and you're going to, don't worry, we're going to make sure you can stay on your parents' health care until you're 26. I'm like, say what? What did Barry just say? Let me rewind the tape. Okay, Barry did say that. The fuck's the matter with you, Barry? That's the first thought that ran through my head. And when I talk to everybody and I'm looking at this shit, and I just thank God everybody, and we already know at this point it's part of my shtick where I live. I'm walking around and I'm hearing people saying this, and when you got people on the streets of like Manhattan sitting here saying this fucking Obamacare was rigged to fail. It was doomed. It's a setup. It was this. It was that. Come on, man. When you got Joe Haircut on the street corner saying this shit, you know it's all over the country. You know everybody's saying it. And I still hear these younger folks. They come at me with this single payer health care. And I look at them, I go like this. If Ford was the only car you could get in America, do you think that's going to make Ford the best car on earth? Or is it going to make them complacent because they don't have to do anything else? What makes these what makes these car companies good is the competition. Ford is good because it has to go through GM. And GM is good because it has to deal with Ford and Chrysler. And this is before this is before you had the Japanese on the scene or the Germans. Or the Swedish, or anyone else that's on the scene now. You have all this competition. You got the Koreans in there.
Yep.
Got the even the Italians now. They figured out, gee, we don't have to make cars that cost $250,000 to go 3 blocks. We can tone it down a little bit. So now they're throwing their hat in the ring with the Fiats. That is why American cars are getting better. We have competition. It's the same thing with healthcare. You make single payer, you're just going to have one healthcare system that's going to be a friggin' abomination. You make it like the healthcare we had when me and Irv were kids, the way healthcare was in the 80s, where you had all these different companies competing. We'll give you the best rate. You got to give us $100 a month. Screw him. Give me $75 a month. I got the best rate for you. Nah, fuck both those guys. I'll give it to you for $50. That's what happens when you have competition. Like, I had a friend come up and visit me. This is about 20 years ago. This guy came up from Florida. And he was a gangbanger from Florida. And he was talking to me. And he couldn't believe how everyone up in New York all talked to each other and did business with each other. And like, oh, I'm short. I need some reefer. Let me call so-and-so. One guy will call the other guy. These are drug dealers calling each other looking to see you holding because I don't have any. Yeah, sure, I got you. Don't worry about it. And this gangbang was like, what the fuck? Why aren't you guys killing each other over turf? And we looked at each other, and I pulled him to the side. I'm like, let me explain to you how it works up here. We shoot at each other, and we fight over 50, $100. People die. You got to pay for the bullets. You got to get all the security measures for the car, for the cars in the house. You got to worry about everybody's loyalty. Or you all work together, and you all do business together. You find out from talking to each other what client likes what, who does what, and that's how you do business. You corner business that way. And this guy was floored. He's like, I can't believe you can. I told him, I said, bro, do you know how many hundreds of drug dealers there are in just this one neighborhood? I said, it would look like Beirut if everyone took up arms. We figured this shit out back in like the 60s. You can't do this shit up here. If you look in New York City in the 70s and 80s, you could not get around. Even in the 90s, when I was a teenager, you could not get around in Manhattan. You could not get around in the outer boroughs. It was impossible. They would kill each other over the drop of a hat because of all these stupid turf wars. By the time Clinton had left office and Bush was president, we had Giuliani was the mayor. And by the time Giuliani was the mayor, oh my God, everything got cracked down on. Everything got cracked down on. So people realized you had to be smart. So people stopped shooting at each other. And I hate saying this, but it was when the Republicans controlled New York State and they started cracking down. That's actually what caused the criminals to reconsolidate and reorganize as real organized crime this time. Like, it was still some Wild West shit. You see, the thing of it was, up until Giuliani became mayor and he brought the real vice back into that, I mean, hardcore. Like, he cracked down on that city. That's what caused the blacks, the Italians, the Russians, the Jews, the Irish, the Chinese, everyone who ran it. If you ever watch those 50 Cent videos, those actually aren't that far off where they show like a person of each nationality that represents a different family. That is actually how shit operates out by me, to an extent. It actually got them to all come to the table for the first time. Was when you had Big Paul got set. Once the Sicilians started killing each other, and Giuliani who was came into power as the mayor. Once that all happened at the same time, that period, but John Gotti basically. After the Gotti years, that's when organized crime in the city changed. The Democrats like to sit there and claim it was them. The reason the black neighborhoods and the Spanish neighborhoods started to clean up was because the black gangsters and the Spanish gangsters consolidated their power and used the model Sicilians were using for years, which is this is my neighborhood. I run it like my neighborhood. That's it. And that's the thing. That's why I try to explain to people a lot. If you come to New York now, it's different because they're all using that old model. Even the Italians are using the model now, and they hated the Sicilians for years. That competition that was between the two of them, they use their model now. And it's holy shit, is it completely different. Like, you go into like certain neighborhoods in Brooklyn, and you ain't gonna see drugs there no more. Not like you used to. Muslims took over. I don't know if you guys know about the Nation of Islam. Oh no, you can't sell in the Nation of Islam. Yeah, you you go try to sell crack in a building that the Nation of Islam has put under their protection. Yeah, good fucking
They'll
luck.
whip your ass.
Whip your ass, nothing. They'll throw you out the fucking window.
Yeah, Farrakhan don't take no shit.
You know, that was actually a lot of people don't realize this about the fuck is his name? Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle kept saying that joke about sprinkling crack on somebody. Chappelle was making that joke because he's Nation of Islam. That's what the Nation does. Yeah, the Nation beats the shit out of you and sprinkles crack on you.
That's funny.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh no, he was a crack. Look at him, officer. You got some smooth brother there standing there in a 3-piece suit with a nice looking fedora on, telling the cop, "Yeah, look at him. He's a crackhead. Look at he's got the stem and crack on him." That's how they would deal with him. And it's fucked up. They would use those tactics. A lot of people who are going to hear me say this, they're like, "That's some white boy tactics." You see, you got to not think of it as white boy tactics. That's what they taught you. No, this is just some straight up grime tactics. This is some politics shit. This is guy from the Nation would throw the stem and the rock on the guy and make the phone call. Next you know, they got 8 other guys from the Nation down there. Yeah, oh yeah, he was smoking that, and he was beating the shit out of her, and he was at parking tickets, anything that they can. Because they want you out the fucking neighborhood. That's what that's about.
Smart thinking.
Yeah, well, a lot of people have problems with that. If you hear people like Ben Shapiro, he's constantly sitting there calling Farrakhan. He hates Farrakhan because Farrakhan says this, that, and the third about the Jews. And yeah, he does. And you know, the thing is, but Farrakhan is specifically talking about those same ones I talked to Mickey about that time, the Sabbatean Frankists. Yeah, that's who he's not going to try to lose the plot. I really hate saying this. He's talking to a lot of folks, and up until the past 20 years, when they started changing shit in these black neighborhoods, because there was scrutiny then, and they kind of started saying to the Democrats, "You keep saying the Republicans, but you've been running these cities for X amount of years." That's when you started to see things changing. But he's dealing with people who were demographically kept down and ignorant by a populace. So if he starts talking about Sabbatean Frankists, he has a chance of losing a lot of his followers' attention on the subject, which is why he just calls them Jews.
Right.
It's a one syllable. Right. And it's easier for them to follow. And when they say to him, when he's talking about Jews, he's like, "I'm talking about Jews who aren't Jews." That's who he's talking about, those Sabbatean Frankists. He's not anti-Semitic. He's just not going to sit there and go into great length because the man's 87 fucking years old. That's all.
Yeah, he's just tired of bullshit, man.
Well, he should be. You know, he was there when they, I believe he was with Malcolm X when they killed him.
Balls.
I don't know if he was with him. He was with somebody. I forget because I was watching him on Hot 97. He was talking about I think he was with King. I know Jesse Jackson was with King when they shot King. I forget who the hell he was with because he was talking about how he was there that day, and everyone in the studio was like, "Oh, damn!" They didn't know it, because it wasn't one of those things. But if you look, you got to remember Farrakhan. Back in the 50s, Farrakhan, from what I understand, was a gangster and a pimp in Chicago named Calypso Louie. So, a lot of people forget that about him. That's if you ever hear Rush Limbaugh talking about him, he's constantly when he's talking about Calypso Louie, he's referring specifically to Farrakhan.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's the thing. That's like what I was getting at before. In the neighborhoods around here, they've changed a lot, and this is why these Democrats think, because they've seen it change here, they think it has something to do with them. It has nothing to do with the Democrats per se. It has to do with the happenstance of the people they're exploiting happen to have these communities that are tightly knit. And these tightly knit communities do have people within them that are not just of that community organization, but there are also people that are involved in those communities who are, for lack of a better term, what we would call organized crime. And fear is a hell of a motivator. Part of what has cleaned up those neighborhoods is now you have gangsters in those neighborhoods that live in those neighborhoods and eat in those neighborhoods and shop in those neighborhoods. When I was a kid, you were all scared. Everyone was scared of the Don up on the hill. He would come down the hill. He had the nice big house. It's not the Don up on the hill no more. Now it's the guy who lives upstairs, or it's the guy down the block. And it's not the Don. Now it's the guy who looks like you, talks the same as you. He's from your neighborhood, goes to the same place of worship as your family, works at the same place as your father, shops in the same place as your mother. It's a whole different experience. And that was what had worked for the Sicilians when they first came here. And this is what these other people have adopted now, is this same model. And that's the reason that New York got cleaned up. It was a combination of Giuliani cracking down on the disorganized crime, causing the crime to organize. Had nothing to do with the Democrats. And unfortunately, it's what caused New York to become the animal that it is now. Because I don't know if you guys realize this. I'm going to try to hopefully go into the city coming this next month and start filming some of this shit ever since the election's gone down. Yeah, these people are on a whole different level. It ain't like that shit out in California. These fucking guys didn't protest. Not like that. They hold rallies. I swear, with those red masks and the black outfits, all they need is the freaking sick. They just need somebody in a silver mask leading them, and they fucking look like Cobra.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm serious. You got to see this shit,
man.
That's why I want to start filming. All right, it's 1:45 on my time, and I'm exhausted, guys.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. I suppose it's about time to call it a night. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you guys want to start your shilling then?
Irv, I've been talking for like a half hour solid.
I'm Irving Twin. I screech about Canada and get drunk. Yeah, I'm done.
Right. Oh, all right, Scoob.
Well, you guys know the deal. I'm Scoobie331. You can find me here on YouTube. I am on Minds.com, Gab AI, Patreon, PayPal. I am on Twitter, but I'm suspended on Twitter. I got a few accounts on there. They're all suspended, so sorry. I have to look on Facebook. I don't really feel like dealing with sucker douche. So that's as far. I'm on Instagram. Haven't figured out how to use it yet. You're just going to see an avatar and nothing. No posts. Sorry. A lot of followers. I don't post on that. I don't know how to use it. If Nano Reaper were here, he would call me a Luddite, and I'd say that's disrespectful to Luddites. They at least know how to use half of this shit. Yeah, seriously. But as for things coming up, All right, I'm going to say this now. I'm going to say this publicly. If I get actual legitimate requests and somebody actually gives me a donation for my time, I will go to that fucking Thanksgiving Day parade, okay? I'll just say that now publicly. I don't care. And it doesn't mean you send me $1, I'm going to go there if somebody wants to be a wise ass. No. No, I mean, honestly, you got to make this worth my time. Because in case you guys couldn't tell, I'm a curmudgeon. I got no desire to go there and deal with fucking Willard Scott and his fiddle. All right? But I will. That's part of the job. But I'm an on-hire journalist. So if you want me to go and cover the Thanksgiving Day parade, cover my expenses, I'll go cover that damn parade. But other than that, yeah, I'm going to probably cover the tree light and then a few other things in the upcoming months. And depending on what goes, I'll take it from there. So just got to see what happens.
Sounds good, man.
Thanks.
No problem. Hopefully some people toss you a couple bucks for having to deal with all those sodomites and shit. Because I sure as fuck got tired of these assholes.
Well, it's just it's $18 both ways for each train ticket. That's the thing. So just to go to one event is $36. That ain't even counting the subway. And the subway you're looking at just for one token is probably about, it might be as high as near $5 now. I think it was 3 and change last time I checked. Yeah, that's the reason. Yeah, that's the reason I keep telling people, look, you gotta throw me cash for me to do these things, because I'd ride a Razor scooter around there, but it's a big city. Yeah.
No, I feel you. You don't want them to steal your scooter either.
Yeah, that too. It's made out of aluminum. I'll get mugged.
Yeah. Joey. All right. I have the Burnside Film Project. I will eventually do more shit when I'm not busy on the fucking weekends. I try and do this every Saturday and Sunday, work stuff permitting, so on. So, that's really about it, you know. Hopefully, if I can stop getting shot at by crackheads, we'll get more backline done. That's really about it. All right, I'm gonna hit the red button.
Hail Sigmar.
Night all.